Yo, what up? How y'all doing?
Hello?
I missed
Hey-o!
you. Hey.
I thought we started 12 minutes ago.
No,
I thought we did too.
No.
I heard word.
That was Sepsis Live, wasn't it?
No.
Hey.
Okay.
Thanks for going.
Sab sent the notification on Discord way too early on accident.
And
Well,
Discord did
Discord-
not stop me, which it does 90% of the time when you misclick something.
Yeah.
So I'm picturing the whole Pumbaa and Timon thing where it's like, let me at him, okay.
But hi, everybody.
Oh, situation.
Welcome back to Grace Attorney. I think we might be finishing up this chapter today. I tried to say trial and chapter in the same word and it didn't work. But yeah, I was surprised. Well, maybe we're not. Maybe we're not. I guess we'll find out. The Battle of Garadab.
So on the day you're referring to, the wife and I did have a bit of a skirmish. Can't recall the reason now. Knocked a candlestick over and set the fire to the carpet. Soon had it out though. Got the window open.
Could you please?
Oh,
Full
yes.
screen.
Of course,
Thank
of course. Yes.
Meanwhile, I was picking up whatever I could to throw at him.
Meanwhile.
Meanwhile.
Plenty of knives round our place. Can't say I'd notice if one or two went missing, I'm afraid. If that belly thing in the victim's back really was one of ours, you'll have a job proving it, I think.
Hmm.
Oh, that was short.
Yeah, that was.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you defending your wife that threw knives at you?
Except Judge.
Oh,
God, I love her.
it was so short. I was so short. I thought they have a lot to say.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, prove it. And I'm like, and we're like, yeah, that's our job.
That's what you're doing here. It sounds as though it was quite the battlefield in your household that evening.
Oh, look. I also had a voice really quick.
It's going great.
At the beginning of every stream, we're asked, are we ready? And we're always like, yep.
Mm-hmm.
We say yes.
I thought I had time when Jay was coupling in. Although it's entirely one-sided assault, it seems.
The enemy caught us on the hop, sir. Had no choice but to dig in and take defensive measures.
The case of the floating pipe returns. I see that hasn't been fixed.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Mhm.
Now the pipe is on like a plate, isn't it?
Well, it isn't. It is in front of the page. But
It is near a plate.
Yeah.
To be honest, if the enemy had kept shelling us for another minute, we'd have been toast. Whilst a veteran such as myself is only too aware that on every battlefield you're just a gnat whisker for death at any moment.
Are we still talking about a marital quarrel here?
Yes. Well, I must say I'm dubious that this testimony will shed any light on the origins of this jackknife.
in combat, one's focus narrows such that surroundings are barely noticed.
This might be a little bit loud still. Let's go with that volume.
The witnesses may not be able to offer anything more than they have testified already. This may be a dead end.
Van Zeeks may well be right.
You know I am.
Shut up. Well, whatever
Maybe
the
you know it.
chances. We only have this last cross-examination to uncover the truth, Mr. Naruhodo.
Yes, I'm afraid so.
Very well, counsel, begin your cross-examination.
Okay. Also, chat, how are the volume levels? Anybody need changing?
Please
Anything?
let us
We-
know.
Let us know.
We struggle every time.
Let's uphold it. The reason is what you told us yesterday, I believe.
Yes, that's right. If I remember correctly, it all started because of a note that was tucked into the pages of a book belonging to Mr. Garadeb.
A rather passionate note, in fact. But Mrs. Garadeb found the note, discovering her husband's little secret.
And she gave him a mighty number of slaps across the face for it too.
What a sordid state of affairs.
Hell on earth.
Damn. Alright. Chat says the game's
Music
quiet.
to it.
I will up the game. Thank you very much. Also, Lunar might be a little quiet in my ears. There we go.
Here I am.
There you are. Okay, great. Let's go.
Bonsoir.
I say, when a chap says he can't recall such things, it's common decency not to drag it all up. And besides, half of it was wide of the mark anyway.
Half of it.
A likely story.
These waters run very deep.
And what transpired next after these multiple blows to the face?
Oh,
Did you duck?
and the fire also spread to some items of furniture, didn't it?
The bookcase, my armchair, anything of mine, really. It just so happened there was some bathwater around that evening, so I sloshed that about to put it out.
A most precarious situation you have found yourself in.
Ours is a 3-story townhouse on the west side of the street, where the water main isn't connected yet. Have to draw water from a public water pump during the day if you need any, you see.
The lodgers always moaning that they can't get any water at night. Although, that little mustached Japanese man buys water in bottles, I believe.
The defendant, Mr. Natsume, you mean?
Yes, he receives a stipend for his studies, you know. Or stipend. Stipend. You know.
Supon.
Yeah, we do.
Stupendous.
Yeah.
Soup.
Stupendous. From his home country. Can you imagine being able to brew a pot of tea at all hours? He's obviously very well off.
Have you
You
actually
know-
seen the state of the man?
And isn't it also really bad to drink the water in other places? Because, you know, the germs are different. Like, not even that this is bad water. It's just
It is.
different
You're not using the
microbes.
water yet. But
Yeah.
for bathing, though?
Oh, well, bathing, yeah, that might be going too far.
I believe he uses all of his income to buy books.
Well, anyway, the point is I was able to douse the fire with water, fortunately enough.
Okay. Oh, that.
Good.
Even though the room was on fire?
As far as I was concerned at the time. It was more important to extinguish my anger than the flames. When a woman wants to throw, she must throw! That is most certainly not true of a Susato takedown, Mr. Naruhodo.
How
Yes,
did
it
you
is.
know I was thinking that? So, please cast your mind back and try to remember. Was a knife among the items that you threw at your husband that day?
In all honesty, I don't recall. But I feel I must point out that I'm no monster. Let me see. Some bread, cabbage, garlic, a towel, a sponge, a napkin.
You, sir! Excuse me! Do you have something to add, sir? Speed.
A knife!
Ah! Mr. Garridan!
Don't shoot! I beg your pardon.
Did your wife's remark just now bring something to your mind?
Nothing of any significance, no. Is that the barrage of projectiles the old thing launched in my direction was somewhat more solid than she implies. Books, bricks, and the fire poker, I seem to recall.
I see. Ouch.
The woman's aim is uncanny! Grief, woman, we're not at home now. This is a court of law.
Oh, dearie me, ever so sorry, dear.
What's she even doing with a teapot in here?
Honestly, John, I would have never thrown such things at you, obviously.
Look at all this then. How do you suppose that happened? Hmm?
Oh, the broken pipe?
It's relevant.
Oh,
Your pipe, sir.
I had this thing in my hand as the usual at the time of the onslaught. Knocked it clean out with one of her soft projectiles she did, yes. When I went to pick the thing up, it was broken in two. I'd like to see a sponge do that sort of damage.
Entwine!
I see, your pipe was broken.
It would never have been sent flying unless it was hit by something pretty solid. Anyway, I've managed to bandage the thing up for now.
You are one to exaggerate, aren't you, dear?
I wonder what we should make of this account. Could be important.
Could be.
Could be. The defense believes Mr. Gyarados' remarks just now to be of great significance.
Objection!
This war veteran's words only tells us one thing. Betray a fiery wife and pipes, as well as hearts, may be broken. Sentimental wisdom, perhaps, but hardly worthy of adding to the formal testimony.
Indeed, common sense, one might say.
Might one?
In that
Yes.
case, would you at least permit us to examine the pipe, sir?
Well, I don't see why not.
Oh, dearie me, there you go again, trying to integrate yourself with a young
Ingratiate.
lady. Ingratiate. Ingratiate.
Not that kind of integration.
It's not Jay.
Very well, the court will accept the gentleman's pipe as evidence.
Pipe is denied to the court record. Mr. Gyarados' pipe apparently fell to the floor during a domestic dispute he had with his wife, and it broke.
It's been integrated.
I hope I didn't speak out of turn, Mr. Naruhodo.
No, that's great. More evidence always good. Hi. Hello. What do you have to say for yourself? There's a small
Knife.
nick out of the bowl here. Look, it appears to have been made
Nick?
relatively recently.
Nick!
Nick,
Ah!
It's Nick!
what are you doing here?
Huh. Practicing well.
And
This is how it went back in time into the pipe.
so this is how it started. And see how there are little scrapes and dents all over it? It's a clearly well-loved pipe.
Yes, you're right. It seems to me recently that being well-loved goes hand in hand with getting some battle scars. This particular nick is catching my eye, though, because it's clearly new. Okay. Again, how do we know that it's so new? I don't know. It looks to be in a sorry state with that bandage around it, doesn't it? But for some reason, it feels slightly ominous to me, like it's trying to shout out a warning. Probably because it's the same blue as Mr. Gyarados' dressing gown?
I suppose it must have considerable sentimental value to Mr. Gyarados, given that he's gone to the trouble of repairing it like this.
Either that, or he can't afford to replace it. You got more to say for yourself? You got, oh, wait, what
No.
about that? Oh, yeah, I should have thought of that! Why didn't I think of that? Oh, something just twinkled inside the chamber of the pipe here.
Yes, I saw it. Something's stuck in there, I think.
Let's turn it over and give it a shake. Wait, what's this? It's a tiny fragment of metal. It looks like the tip of a blade or something.
It looks like the tip of a
Oh.
blade or something.
Oh, the tip of a blade? Surely it couldn't be. The fragment of metal has been entered into the
We've
core
seen a
record.
broken blade.
Of
Yes.
course.
We've seen a
yes.
broken blade.
Yes, we have.
Where have we ever seen a broken
We
blade?
have seen a broken blade.
We have seen a broken.
There it is!
There it is.
There it is!
It was
there
the
it be.
Knife.
Well, I mean, we win, I guess.
That was lucky.
Easy.
I was just feeling rather disappointed for you that your request was turned down.
Oh no, it's fine. Thanks to Suzato-san, we have some new evidence to work with. We should examine it carefully.
Already done.
Well, thank you for that rebuttal, Mr. Gyarados. Now, if we can return to the crux of the matter. That X is supposed to be said, right? Like so many X's aren't
crux?
said,
Yeah,
but
crux.
that one crux.
Yeah, Crux.
I love Britain. What can you tell the court about the knife used to attack the victim?
I love Britain.
I love Britain.
Oh, that.
They use their X's.
Oh, save the Queen.
Sorry, would you care to elaborate?
Hang on, I'll be on a Queen right now. I don't know what year it is. Nothing to say, really. Now, partial to a spot of carving, you see. Pipes and whatnot, fishing tackle, you know, that sort of thing.
It's a passion we both share. I like to carve little wooden trinkets too. And then there's my leatherwork.
Not in public, dear. Sorry to say, we're always losing knives about the place. We have dozens of the things.
And they sell them at the market sometimes, 20 for the price of 19. Needless to say, I snap them up. John prefers to use 2 knives at meals sometimes, instead of a knife and fork.
We love our knives. Now, John, I know people think so much. Oh!
Here we go again with the scaldings. Why are they being so evasive?
I imagine it's because they don't want to believe it. They can't bear the thought that it might have been one of their knives that injured the victim.
Which is entirely understandable, of course, but still.
Go on with your testimony, witnesses.
Loading. Two. Let's have a hold it. So you have no intention of admitting it was your knife, unless we can produce proof? Oh dear. Even though there is no other credible possibility if Mr. Natsume is innocent?
Objection!
You forget, my Nipponese friend, that it has yet to be established that the accused is not responsible for the attack.
As if I could forget. If only there was some way to know who had handled the knife. But I suppose wizardry,
only.
is just a dream.
Perhaps you're thinking of fingerprinting, Mr. Naruhodo.
What? You mean it's not a dream?
It exists.
That sort of wizardry really exists?
Whenever people touch something, they leave behind a unique pattern from their skin. Or so they say.
But I can't see anything.
There are already countless of countries in the world where these so-called fingerprints can be used as evidence. Lord Strongheart is currently discussing the matter at the Ministry of Justice.
Yes, I believe we are rapidly approaching an era of scientific methods of investigation.
Wait, if Britain isn't one of these countries that uses this, and which ones do?
America.
That's not. Nope, maybe not.
But for now, we shall have to find an alternative method of proving our assertion. That this knife found in the victim's back was originally Mr. and Mrs. Garadeb's house.
If only I could transplant this whole incident to several years in the future. That's the extent of their testimony, is it?
What do you think, Mr. Naruhodo?
Well, I think we've heard all this before, to be honest. I can't say I'm particularly confident that we'll be able to prove anything new from this testimony.
But in this cross-examination,
Take your
We're on the
time.
roll today.
I'm doing great today. I'm
Yeah.
fine.
In
In this
integrated.
cross-examination, it's absolutely essential that we can establish how this knife came to be at the scene of the incident.
Yes, I know.
I'm sure both of them must be feeling very worried. Worried that it was in fact a knife belonging to one of them that caused the victim's injury.
If we could find even a tiny shred of evidence to support that theory, it would clinch this trial for us. It would explain everything.
Yes, it would.
So for Saseki-san's sake, we must. We must find that last crucial piece of evidence.
Wouldn't the knife tip being in the pipe be the
We
evidence?
haven't realized
Yes.
it yet.
Oh, we're getting there.
Think
We
we're-
haven't
I-
presented that yet.
I think we're here now. I think we've arrived. That's
Okay.
the part.
Yes.
Meanwhile, I'm picking up whatever you showed him.
And apparently French was with the original country with fingerprints.
Can't say I'd noticed. Oh, okay, that makes sense. If one or two went missing, I'm afraid. If the belly thing was in the you'll have jump. Oh, it's gonna be that one, I think. Hey, buddy, why don't you have this?
Hey, mate.
Objection. Mr. Garadeb, could I ask you to take a good look at this, please?
You can ask, but I can't see a bolly thing.
You can't.
You used to call me Dead-Eye Deb back in the regiment, of course, but that was some time ago now. Even when trying to enjoy a large print book by the fire these days. I struggle to tell a B from a D and a P from a Q, to be honest.
Bidip.
Oh, he does. Dearie me, it's rather wearing being said as being asked about. Oh my God, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
British is hard.
It's rather wearing being asked about every other letter and every other word.
You must be very dusty. Dizzy.
Dizzy. Dizzy?
What is that? A tiny scrap of metal.
Yes, almost certainly from the tip of a blade.
Thank God.
And what may appear to be, at first, to be just a tiny scrap, is in fact a crucial piece of evidence.
Good.
Whoops.
And where did... Interesting. And where did the defense come by this evidence?
It was lodged in the chamber of Mr. Garadeb's pipe, which I guess means that he's just smoking it out of habit without the tobacco. That's fine.
I mean, metal doesn't burn, so...
Mm.
My pipe, you'll say? By Jove, I wonder how that got there.
I wonder.
And what precisely does this fragment of metal signify, Counsel? Are you suggesting that is in some way related to the matter of the stabbing on Boyer Road?
Slap him.
Can
I
you
am.
please stop slapping your face?
No.
What?
I said
Why?
Have
Why?
you ever heard of a gangster
No.
punch?
no. No.
No.
It's where you punch with both hands and you punch the upper side of one side of the head and the jaw on the other one, and you push the hands together to snap the jaw of the guy you're punching. And I'm like, what if he
What the hell,
misses?
Jay?
And listen, I did that because someone tried to do it to me. I slapped him. He wasn't very good at it.
All right. Well,
I
when
should hope
put
not.
together with another piece of evidence already in the court record, I believe this tiny fragment of metal will unravel the whole truth of this case, my lord.
Nice box.
It's on the box.
You appear rather confident of this extraordinary statement, Counsel. Very well, then present the pertinent evidence to the court. What evidence, when paired with this fragment of metal, allegedly reveals the truth of this entire case? Get off the knife.
No!
Okay.
This is the knife that was found in the victim's back. If you look closely, you will see that there is a small piece at the tip of the blade that is missing.
A common issue with inferior blades sold at unsavory street markets. Criminals who use them regularly leave the tips lodged in their victims' bones.
And what of this particular knife?
No doubt its tip has suffered a similar fate, now languishing somewhere near the spine of the victim.
Have you been paying attention? Objection!
I'm trying to make my point.
No, that's not the case.
Yes, it is.
The tip of this particular knife's blade is the very fragment of metal we discovered in the chamber of Mr. Garadeb's pipe.
Oh!
Good grief! Lord Van Sykes, what happened to you?
Ziggs.
I don't believe it. You still don't know my name.
Oh.
I'm old.
the knife from the crime scene and this fragment of metal are a perfect match.
Yeah.
Good golly gosh! Order! This is some sort of Eastern sorcery!
I think the explanation is more simpler than that, my lord.
No!
Because there is no magic, my lord. This is a miracle.
Okay.
It's not magic when God does it.
A miracle is just very unlikely.
Fine, a miracle.
So Van Zeeks has figured it out, has he?
Council, explain this extraordinary coincidence at once. I don't get it.
Yes, my lord, I do get it. The crucial point we have to ask ourselves here is when did the fragment of metal find its way inside Mr. Garridub's pipe?
Something that was clarified for us in the most recent witness testimony.
Seeing my hand as usual at the time of the onslaught. Yes. Knocked it clean out with one of her soft projectiles, she did, yes. It would never have been sent flying unless it was hit by something pretty solid. Oh, dearie me.
During the argument between these two that occurred just as the victim was on the pavement below, Mrs. Garridub flung this knife at her husband. However, the knife missed Mr. Garridub, instead striking the pipe in his hand at the time.
Which caused the tip to break off, of course.
Good lord!
Yes, and that is when the tiny tip of the blade found its way inside Mr. Garridub's pipe.
So that are 1,000,000 to 1.
And yet, there's no other credible explanation for how the tip of the blade ended up in your pipe. Then, after losing its tip, the knife ricocheted off the pipe and flew out of the open window. When you start speaking, Wander, it's still cutting you off.
Yeah.
Yeah. In short, this knife, which fell from the window of the Garridub's house, is the very same knife that struck the victim in the middle of the back on the street below.
Good throw.
Gosh! Oh, dear! Oh! No!
Objection! Oh, what now?
What do you want?
You whiny bitch.
You lost.
It's getting
I don't have
sloppy
anything
in
to
the
throw.
courtroom.
A full body theory, I will give you that. A complex bouquet of seemingly trivial points, plausibly arranged to create an almost passable vintage.
No, just accept that you're screwed.
Allow me to toast to my learned friend characteristically Nipponese approach to bottling his arguments.
Sorry?
But after all, it is just a theory.
No.
A game.
No!
The bottle, I fear, is corked. Because you see... Leg! It is spoiled by an insurmountable inconsistency.
An insurmountable.
Lord Van Zeeks, explain yourself! What is this inconsistency you claim to have identified? Will someone please explain?
Speaking of alcohol, hey, at our Fireball sucks. You're wrong! You're wrong!
An inconsistency of the simplest nature, my lord. The victim was found with a knife planted in the middle of her back.
Yes, in her. Oh.
That's right, you silly little man.
Now, Joan, old thing, what are you getting so excited about?
Let us consider the basics of the case once more. The victim was walking along the pavement before being stabbed in the back and falling to the ground. If the knife had struck her, it had fallen from above. Oh, I don't have anything to throw!
I got you.
Thank you. There's no possible way it could have planted itself onto the victim's back.
Now, if only Van Zeeks was watching the CATV streams. We figured this out last time.
Yeah.
Ah!
We've got this.
Order!
Quite right. You see, that's exactly right. If the knife had fallen on her from above, it would have struck her on the top of her head.
Well,
That is true.
No.
No.
Jay, we've been over this, Jay.
He's lost
It's
words.
Was he bending
I
over?
knew it. I never liked his theory in the first place.
Rubble.
What really did happen?
Rubble.
Squint!
I'm gonna squint until that lady's off the stand. Or
Yep.
the jury's bench, I guess.
It would appear the defense has made a rather spectacular blunder.
Yeah.
If a theory has even one inconsistency, it cannot stand. Your theory, my learned friend, is history.
No.
It's about to repeat itself, bitch. You're gonna lose another one.
We were so close! I can't believe I'm going to lose here! I was so sure we were on the right track, but now the way has been blocked completely by just one simple inconsistency.
Oh no.
Or in other words, we simply need to eliminate that one inconsistency, and the theory will stand.
Miss Uzada!
You mustn't worry, Mr. Naruhodo. You were just caught off guard, that's all. And your mind went blank. But if the path you are on is indeed correct, then a way will present itself. The key to this is in the court record, I'm sure. All the information you need is there.
It seems you have nothing to say, my Nipponese friend. Well, your silence speaks volumes. A tacit acceptance that your theory is fatally flawed.
It's tacit, sir. Objection!
Shut up, ghost.
This inconsistency doesn't mean I was on the wrong track. It means that I need to sharpen my mind and dig deeper for the truth.
Are we
It's a
gonna
test.
brain drive?
Ha! Yes. If the knife
Thanks for responding.
If the knife fell on the victim from above, there's no way that it could have hit her in the middle of her back. Under normal circumstances, that is.
Oh no.
Counsel!
There is a piece of evidence in the court record that can explain this inconsistency, that can explain how the knife that fell from above could have pierced the victim's back. We already have the answer.
Goodness.
Utter madness.
1 year. 1 year I was off my heart medication, and then this guy shows up from. Surely this must be the last time. Counsel, present the evidence of which you speak.
This is the last inconsistency, the final piece in the puzzle. If I can successfully make sense of this, the truth will be laid bare at last. The evidence that explains how the falling knife became lodged in the victim's back is
My attorney badge.
specifically this book. Take that!
Yep.
This, the fourth book found at the scene. This is the final piece of evidence the defense will present.
The burnt book.
Is that not Mr. Garadeb's book?
Yes, and to understand its significance, we have to consider how it came to be at the scene in the first place. This photographic print clearly shows the book in question, and the victim holding it in her hand.
But as we all now know, it was the police constable that put the book between her fingers like that.
Quite so. As part of his wholesale transplanting of the crime scene to the opposite side of the road.
That's true. However, As part of his testimony, Constable Beat made an extremely enlightening statement on that point. But what made you place that book in the victim's hand?
Oh, well, sir, it's because that's how I found it. When we first went over to the scene, the victim was already holding the book. So, I moved everything to make sure it was still in the house.
In other words, the victim had already picked the book up of her own volition. And clearly, that must have been before she suffered the knife wound.
Well, I could say so. After being attacked with a knife, I don't imagine she'd have been doing much of anything.
So the question becomes, why did the victim have that book in her hand?
By Jingo?
That's new.
What? I think I'm beginning to see what may have happened now.
Oh, dearie me.
We know that the book fell from the top floor of the Gyardev's household onto the pavement below. At precisely the moment that the victim was walking past.
Yes, at exactly that moment, the young woman was walking along the street in the light fog, when all of a sudden, a book fell right in front of her.
The book I threw.
Yes, Mrs. Gyardeb. And what do you think the woman did? What would you do if you were walking along and suddenly a book landed in front of you on the pavement?
Well, I really can't imagine it, but I suppose she might have reached down
Oh,
Aw,
and picked the book up.
she's cute.
cute though.
Yes, that is
Why would you hurt her?
exactly what the woman in fact did. She picked up the book.
Oh heavens!
And when the woman reached down to pick the fallen book up, what position would her back have been in?
On her back?
That's right, facing the sky, completely and utterly defenseless.
Oh.
Then, in the very next moment, while the woman was still bent over picking up the book, oh, but that's the end of that.
Oof.
The next object fell from the room above, the jackknife, straight into the middle of her back. But now we know that the tip wasn't there to begin with. Is it not even sticking into her? Is it just like in her jacket?
She
It
was
could
still
be sharp
hospitalized.
enough.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the very tippity tip of the knife was broken off, but the rest of it's still a knife.
Yeah.
And at the same
A
time,
knife is still a knife.
walking by chance directly behind Miss Green was the defendant, Mr. Soseki Natsume.
Well, I never.
It appeared to Mr. Natsume that the woman simply collapsed on the floor. In the dark and the fog, he didn't see the knife falling on her from above.
Ah!
And from the other direction, the constable and his wife saw no one but the victim and her apparent attacker.
So there never was a real culprit to run from the scene in the first place.
No, this was nothing more than a series of unlikely events that culminated in an unfortunate accident.
Ace adjourned.
Nyah! And that is the real truth behind this case. Well, Mr. and Mrs. Gyaradev. Freak out time.
The very first time you showed me that knife, I had my suspicions.
Did you?
I wondered if perhaps it might have been something like that.
There, old bean.
Old bean.
Oh,
Mm.
Poor Mrs. Garadeb. Of course, I never meant for anything of the sort to happen, but it was all my fault, wasn't it? I take full responsibility. I let my anger get the better of me.
Oh,
I threw that book.
And I threw that knife as well. John, dear,
It's all right. I know.
I'm ever so sorry. Truly. I'm sorry!
Catch her! Catch her! You caught her, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
There's the photo.
No!
Nice work.
Good enough.
He did his best.
Lord Van Zeeks, what news of Miss Garadeb?
So far, this game is 4 for 4 with the unresolved, unsatisfying case endings. Yep! Yep! God,
But
it's
I
like
don't know if I would
This was
say
satisfying.
unsatisfying, but rather all of them have been accidents. There hasn't been a specific
Yeah,
culprit that gets
No villains.
what's coming to him.
With one exception.
With one exception.
And
Well, kind of.
that one she got away. That's the unsatisfying one.
But yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
There hasn't been really anybody to root against.
she's been taken to the infirmary. It would appear that today's events had left her in an especially flustered state. However, I believe she will recover in due course. There is no cause for concern.
Yes, unbeknownst to themselves, they caused what could have easily been a terrible tragedy.
I guess McGilded also fits that bill, but he was also a little different.
Yeah.
All cases at the very least has been unique.
That's true.
They shall have to prepare themselves for the consequences of their actions.
There is some good news, however, my lord. I have just had word from the hospital where the victim is being treated. Her condition is improving steadily, and the doctor believes she will regain consciousness soon.
Oh, right, she didn't die.
Yeah. It's strange.
Yeah.
We've been talking about the victim all this time, but we've never once met her.
How wonderful! The woman is out of danger, it seems.
Yes, that
Be
is
a
good
terrible
news.
person. Be a terrible person. It'd be so funny.
So, Mrs. Osuke Natsume,
This experience has made me evil.
and on behalf of my fellow countrymen, I would like to take this opportunity to beg your pardon, sir. You came from your distant eastern homeland to study our great British culture, and have been repaid with immeasurable unkindness. Please accept our heartfelt apologies.
Hmm.
No.
No, it is me who's be begging your pardon.
Oh no, Mr. Natsume.
Why do you sound just like the judge?
I'm doing my best. They're both deeply and somewhat British. I'm going to I'll figure something out.
So second.
Working on it.
Okay.
He's not angry, so I can't really just do the angry thing. Well,
You don't need to change it that much.
Alright.
We were just teasing you, sorry.
I'm sorry, it's hard to do the plan. That evening when the young woman just collapsed in the pavement before my eyes, I jumped to the wrong conclusion again in my confusion. What conclusion, sir? I was sure that the woman was dead.
Yes, Constable Beat said the same thing, didn't he? He thought she had been killed too.
I suppose she must have looked completely lifeless.
It's been about a year since I arrived in Great Britain now, but I still can't get used to the life here. I can't relax. I'm sure there are evil spirits lurking in the fog, like they're haunting me.
Poor Soseki-san. His imagination really has got the better of him.
Yes, poor man.
So, when it happened, I thought the young woman had been taken by the fog spirits. I should have never dropped my books like that and run away. I should have called for help, for a doctor, for the police! Instead, I managed to create a rift in the relationship of trust between our two empires. And for that, I am truly sorry.
Okay.
Oh, Mr. Garner was now on the witness on the.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Well, one could indeed say that some sort of mischievous spirit was at work here, I think. One that created a chain of unfortunate mishaps. We were befooled by the spirits and led to false conclusions. But thanks to Lord Van Zeeks and our young lawyer here from the east.
A Chain of Unfortunate Mishaps by Persnickety Lemon.
Persnickety, my guy. Oh yeah, that chain has now been broken and the spirit exposed.
Soseki Snicket.
I heartily commend you both.
Oh!
Not you, Van Zeeks.
Now then, ladies and gentlemen of the jury.
Yes, my lord.
In concluding that this trial, I must ask one last time for your decisions regarding the defendant's culpability. Are you ready to present your findings to the court?
As the foreman of the jury, I can assure you we've reached a fair and just conclusion.
I do declare that truth can be extremely cruel at times.
Squint.
She never did anything wrong.
I'm not so sure.
Well, I didn't suspect the woman next to me, that's for sure.
Sitting in for the old bean will see satisfaction, you know, but I know what her decision would be.
Does this mean I'll finally be able to get out of here and start work? Well, it's about time.
I say I have a crocker of a story to tell the grandchildren when I get home. Very well, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I hereby demand your final decisions. Mr. Foreman.
Not guilty.
Guilty. Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Oh,
Huh?
Guilty.
not your voice.
Not guilty.
Why does fire weigh anything?
I think it's what is lit on fire that weighs something.
That makes sense.
Yes.
Don't worry about
Ah.
Oh, very well, Mr. Sosuke Natsume. I hereby pronounce you... that.
Fireworks. In a cathedral.
Not that.
And finally, Mr. Natsume. Oh, yes, Lord, sir. You are now a free man once more. It is my hope that you will continue to further your education in the British Empire.
Culture.
And may you never again be brought before me. Ever again.
And never see your sorry face again.
Oh, yes, sir, of course. Oh, on my life, I swear I will never set foot in a courtroom again. I am transported to tears. Thank you, counsels. Our court is adjourned.
Yay, we did it.
Yay!
Yay.
For me, I will be back in about 30 seconds.
Okay, it's
Okie
February.
doke. Happy February.
Ho ho, Loctum!
That's just my name now? Wait, you mean me?
Of course! Is there any Loctum here?
Is there
You know, Jay, there's not a
Yes.
T in that word.
Yeah, I don't know why you keep saying T.
Is there even one?
There's a T.
There's not one, actually.
There's no T here.
There's
so-
no T.
Oh, I'm saying.
Compared to the original locum student, Mr. Naruhodo Esquire,
I'm back.
your name has become rather short, hasn't it?
What's wrong with using my actual name?
Oh, at last! I am free! Free! Joyful, joyous, jubilant, jubilation!
Okay.
Ha! Heady, hearty happiness! Hurrah!
Oh, I am pleased. Mr. Natsume is delighted.
Would it be so hard just to say that then?
No!
It has 5 letters.
Does.
Locum. Locum.
Okay.
It's Latin.
Just it's a really funny word. Think about it.
No. You made it funny.
I did.
Anything is funny if you think about it hard enough.
Ready
for your line?
Yes, Jay.
Ready for your line?
Jay.
Locum, you did it.
I'm sorry,
Okay.
I made a mistake by
Hey.
bringing it up.
You saved me from the brink!
Well, what happened to the poor woman was in no way your fault after all. I'm just glad everyone can see that now.
No! Nothing like that! Lovely lawyer, Loctum! Lawyer!
Ha! We tricked him into saying it. Yes.
As I said before, I have just never gotten used to life here in Great Britain. Every time I look over my shoulder, I see foreigners. I see towering brick buildings. And from high up windows, I can see them looking down on me, laughing. Look at the little hunchback.
Oh dear, I'm sure it's all in your head, Mr. Natsume.
But today, you Loctum lawyers gave him my gloom the boot. You stood firm behind the Briorino branch before all those babbling British. You battled to the bitter end, laying bare the baffling truth. And then, when I beheld the blinding fireworks among the beams of the Bailey roof, I bellowed, "Behold the best banisher of the ball!"
Well, that's very flattering, and we're very pleased for you.
This has given me a wonderful anecdote to recount to my old friends back in Japan.
Oh, an anecdote. Is that what's to become of all my hard work? Who?
Oh, there you
are,
my dear fellow.
That makes sense.
Here we go again.
Him!
Just come by me.
It's
Just
a-
come by me. Just come by me. I apologize for keeping you waiting. I rose late this morning.
Oh, Mr. Sholmes! Oh, what a pleasure to see you.
I see I am not here a moment too soon. A disaster has been averted, I'm glad to say.
Oh,
The trial shall begin presently. Mr. Naruhodo, and I wish you the very best of luck.
It's just finished.
What? No! Then my haste was in vain. Oh! Look! Oh! Have we met, sir? I reset every day.
this is Mr. Natsume, the man you had arrested Mr. Sholmes.
Ah, I see. I failed to recognize you at first. Our previous encounters have taken place in the gloom, either of your bleak lodgings or in that prison cell. I simply couldn't place that curious face in the light I only see in color theory.
Charming.
This is all your fault, Herr Rookström. You're the reason I had to go through this terrible ordeal. I'm going to give you a piece of my mind.
Well, my apologies, sir, but I assure you, I have placed you now. I've placed you. It's great. You did a good job. You're the fellow who abandoned the poor young lady and ran off, are you not?
Oh my god.
Had she been taken to the hospital more urgently, I feel perhaps she would have regained consciousness by now. Oh. But it was unavoidable, I'm sure. We are but human, after all. Anyone could have been shaken by such an experience.
Wait, yeah, this is a dab and like the okay hand on his hand in the air.
It's supposed to be a kanji, but like, yeah.
I do feel very badly for how I behaved.
Well, never mind. Now then, what was it you wanted to say to me, sir?
Nothing.
Priceless, I am really sorry, but that was quite priceless.
Asshole Sherlock Holmes. He's here.
Let's go.
Poor Soseki-san.
Still, on the bright side, you had an extremely entertaining experience without paying a penny. And it would seem you are not even found guilty.
But there is no bright side.
Whatever do you mean, Mr. Natsume?
Even after this, I'm still cursed by the spirits and now by the Reaper!
Oh, Lord Van Zeeks.
I haven't forgotten, you know, what that facing that man, you know, what it means in court. Oh, God. Even if you're not guilty, you're still doomed!
It will be all right, Mr. Natsume.
Huh?
If the Reaper appears trying to make trouble, I will protect you. Hiya!
And now she's killed a man!
With a perfectly executed Susato takedown.
How much is that? Turned on my head. A bit of warning might be nice next time, Mr. Zato.
And that's how the chapter and game ends.
So, Mr. Natsume, what do you intend to do now? I'm fine now. You mentioned something about recounting your experiences to your friends back in Japan?
Yes, I intend to return to my homeland soon.
Oh,
It has already been a year since I arrived here in Great Britain. I've visited universities, libraries, bookshops, and I have been honored with the tutelage of professors. I've learned so much about the wealth of literature here, and the city has shaped so much. And I have come to realize that it is my calling to sail home and tell my fellow countrymen about them, and not because I want to leave.
that's very touching, Mr. Natsume.
Or, in perhaps less veiled terms, You wish to withdraw halfway around the world to escape the terror of the Reaper's curse? That's what it is!
Are you sure?
The more I learned of literature, the more this strange a feeling claws at my insides. Dysentery. I feel compelled to return to my roots and attempt to pen a work of my own.
Oh, I see. A work of
Nice.
literature by Soseki-san. Could be an interesting read. Oh, so he wasn't a writer until after he left England, I guess then? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, which would explain why Ryunosuke doesn't know him yet. Okay, alright, sure.
Hmm.
And what about Miss Susato and yourself, Miss Naruto?
Sorry, what about us?
Will you return to Japan alongside your mustache compatriot?
Why would we?
A week has not yet passed since we arrived in London. And it only now does it feel as though we have a family finally found our fleet.
And you are accommodated in a hotel at present, are you not?
Yes, that's right, but we need to find lodgings before it bankrupts us.
Found family speedrun. I've calculated that we can only afford another 10 nights before our entire budget is exhausted.
So then, you could take my lodgings.
Oh,
No.
the windowless room.
No taxes. Ah, but what it lacks in windows, it makes up. Oh, it more than makes up with floor, ceiling, and walls.
Great.
When was the last time you had a room with walls?
And of course, I'd be happy to leave behind the accursed evil spirit.
Oh my! An evil spirit?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes. It tries to suffocate you while you sleep. It's an infallible wake-up call.
We'll think about it if that's alright.
It's a cat, isn't it?
Could be.
Perhaps I can offer a more welcoming alternative.
Yes!
Would you consider taking lodgings with me?
Yes!
Really?
Let's just glance over why I didn't offer this before. Well, a vacancy has conveniently presented itself.
Oh, that's no. Oh, you gonna tell them why, Jones?
Though it's up in the attic, I might add.
Are you sure it isn't just a storage loft?
I spoke with the landlady this very morning on the matter of price, and Iris is cleaning the room as we speak. You must come at once. I presume you have no luggage to speak of?
Oh, this is simply wonderful. What an honor to be invited to take lodgings in the great detective's office's attic. I'm too overcome for words.
So suggesting we look elsewhere is out then.
You have been outvoted, Naruhodo.
Oh, then it is settled. I shall prepare a welcome dinner this evening.
Ooh.
And you must come too, Mr. Natsume. I insist! I don't know what to say, but thank you! And yes, and please don't put me back in jail!
Wonderful. Then I'll go and complete the paperwork for your formal release, Mr. Natsume. It shan't take long.
Somebody's happy. And
Locked him.
Oh, yeah.
Alright,
the
I
tea.
guess it's what
Return
we're
of the
going with.
tea. The tea's back in there. He threw it in. Tossed it right in
He
there.
never left.
It never left. I knew you wouldn't let me down. I'm truly delighted to have met you here in London.
Likewise, Mr. Natsume. It's been a privilege meeting you too. It's a shame that we're going to have to say goodbye so soon.
Well, I've come to realize that I belong in Japan.
That's fair.
But locked him. We will meet again one day.
Yes, I'm sure. And hopefully by then, I'll be a successful lawyer.
Hopefully by then, I will be a successful author. Well, my dear fellow, our carriage appears to have arrived. Arrives and has appeared. Shall we go, Miss Naruhodo?
Yes, Mr. Sholmes.
I've little doubt that Mr. Natsume will be released in time for dinner this evening. So, why did I invite him?
No. He has little doubt. He's sure that he'll make it.
It's so small. Right.
And so, with Soseki-san's Soseki-san's innocence successfully established, we rode with Mr. Sholmes to what was to become our new home, 221B Baker Street.
Oh, right. Sherlock Holmes.
Mm-hmm.
It's February. Big room. This is nice. So this
Is to be our new office, yes.
our office. I rather like the sound of that.
Me too. It's simply wonderful, isn't it?
I hope you can see this, Kazuma. It's only a small step. But
I
it's
like
only
the
a
ladder
small
behind
step
us.
ladder. But I'd like to think we're getting a little closer to your dream now.
I mean, the ladder is right there.
My dear fellows, do you like the place?
Oh.
Oh,
Damn, Mr. Sholmes. Yes.
oh no, he's hot.
Because you
So much. Really?
It's a delightful room, Mr. Sholmes. I simply adore it.
Good. I am pleased to hear it. I was now delighted to welcome you.
I hope everything was hungry. It's nearly time for dinner. I forgot I had this voice. We'll eat as soon as Mr. Natsume arrives. We have a lot to celebrate.
Iris, you must let me help you.
Friends.
No!
Friends.
Alright then. Susie, you will be in charge of the salad.
Splendid.
Friends.
So, Mr. Naruhodo, how does it feel to have your own office in the capital?
It's very exciting, actually. I can't help wondering what adventures await us.
Those were precisely my sentiments when I first established my office at these premises. Until I discovered the dark truth about the city of London, that is.
Sorry?
London is a glorious place, full of wonder, opportunity, prosperity, and mirth. But the brightest of lights cast the darkest of shadows.
Shadows? What do you mean?
Like hedgehogs.
Well, I believe you're well aware of the murkiness that lies behind London's facade already. So, once again, Miss Naruhodo, welcome to London.
Thanks.
What was the point of bringing that tension up?
But okay. Of course, at the time, I had no idea of the significance of those words Mr. Sholmes so casually spoke. But it wasn't long before my turn came to lift the facade and see the true depth of the murk that lay behind it.
And
No end cutscene?
we did it. We beat the
Not
game.
gonna be an end cutscene? Landed in London.
Awarded.
Nice. Yeah,
We
I'll save
finally
my
landed.
progress. I
2
love
days
saving-
in.
Love saving my current progress. That's great. I'm gonna squint at that one juror forever. Let's go. Okay. Yeah. Whoa.
There.
The Hound of Baskerville! Yeah! That's great.
No.
Excellent. This is probably the most famous Sherlock story, I would say.
I think
It's
I
up
know
there.
the ending of this one, so I
Well,
wonder if
we'll
I'll be able to
We'll
like
see if it's the end.
guess.
The same.
It's
Uh,
coming! Sholmes' cry pierced through the thick wall of fog around us. Wisps of vapor flowed over the pistol as I cocked it, and I waited, breathlessly, in the stillness. The silence lasted for what seemed an eternity, until, at last, it appeared.
Morph.
From the shadows
Doggy.
of the cloud, an enormous beast sprang out upon us. A hound it was, but not such a hound as any mortal has ever seen. Its eyes glowed with a smoldering glare. The whole of its ox-sized body was outlined in white-hot flames. Its rumbling pant and hideous howl, so terrified was I that I began to tremble with fear. "Look well, Wilson," Sholmes declared, gazing upon the mystical beast. "For this is the diabolical Hound of the Baskervilles."
Baskerville on Baker Street.
Yeah, so I do know that I do know this story pretty well, so I'm curious to see if it follows the same big plot twist at the
Don't spoil it for me.
mean-
I haven't seen the game.
end. Shut up, Sass. Our first
I've only seen the like Sherlock Holmes TV show version.
I
and I
think
don't
it's
know
very
how
similar.
close it is.
I
Which
think it's
one?
similar.
Oh.
The Benedict Cumberbatch one.
But let's
Jay?
let's keep it under a hat.
I think.
Okay, because I think that one's very different.
Oh, okay, good.
Our first 2 months in London passed by in a flash. In that disconcerting courtroom experience, we were first thrown into on the day we arrived in the country, and in Soseki-san's terrible ordeal that had followed closely behind, we had emerged victorious. However, there then came an abrupt end to our opportunities to appear in court, which was hardly surprising, you see, since I was nothing more than an amateur, an unknown student of law from a faraway land. So life in our little office was very quiet. That is, until it was shattered one day by that fateful telegram. It is April.
It's
Happy
April, my
April.
dudes.
Happy April. Naruhodo's legal consultancy.
Oh,
Knock, knock, knock. That morning, I was woken by the unreserved knocking on the door by the telegram boy. But after he'd gone, Susato-san's behavior became very obviously strange. Susato-san?
Yes.
What?
Is it time to leave for court already? Let me see. What case is it today?
I don't think I'm scheduled to defend anyone at the moment, am I?
Oh, no, of course not. How silly of me.
But I think Iris said she would make us breakfast this morning. So, shall we go down to Mr. Sholmes' suite?
Yes. Iris makes the most delicious breakfast food.
She does, doesn't she?
And once our bellies are full, we can leave the court and fight in fighting fit form.
Oh, good for you.
Let me see. What case is it today?
Here we go again. Well, let's talk. The telegram. So, what was it about? The telegram that was delivered this morning, I mean.
Oh, a telegram? I don't know what you're talking about.
Uh-huh. Sorry, but you're not gonna get away with that.
Well, I didn't think I would. Actually, don't give it a moment's thought. It's nothing interesting. Boring, in fact. Ahem. It was just a boring old telegram.
That's 3 times now that she's tried and failed to convince me it was nothing.
promise that I'll tell you about it at some point.
Alright, I understand. Is she being called back to Japan? I suppose Soseki-san will have arrived back in Japan by now, won't he? I should hope so. Although... No, wait, wasn't it an 80-day... Wasn't it an 80-day trip? Or 40? Was it 40?
It was days.
It was days, yeah.
Yes, I should think so. He left immediately after that terrible ordeal. Which would mean that he should have completed the voyage already, or just be a few days away.
A fortnight ago, we had that very long telegram from him. Do you remember? Complaining of seasickness. But by and large, it seems the voyage has been going well.
Is something wrong, Naruhodo-san?
I was just wondering, what might have become of Soseki-san if he had stayed in London, that's all.
You mean, as regards of Lord Van Zieks, the Reaper?
Yes. I can't help wondering if seasickness would have paled into insignificance in that case. Let's talk about that. What is it they say? That no one who stands in the dock can be saved from the Reaper, right?
Intense.
Like the way that nightmarish trial ended on the very day we arrived in London.
Even 2 months on, the cause of that dreadful fire is still a mystery.
Yes, but at least Soseki-san is safely out of the country now. Presumably that means...
That the curse of the Reaper can only take effect within the confines of the city of London, perhaps.
Even if that's the case, it's little comfort. I have a terrible sense of foreboding.
If the legend of the Reaper is to be believed, it would mean he wields a sword of justice himself.
Come to think of it, I wonder what he's been up to these past 2 months. Surely not wielding that sword against more acquitted defendants.
No, I don't think so. Apparently, Lord Van Zieks hasn't appeared in court once since our last encounter.
Oh?
Yes, since Soseki-san's trial. He's withdrawn from judicial service again, it seems.
Really? Just like before, when he wasn't seen in court at all for several years. So it's just been me who's had to face him in his recent spate of trials then? Also, we've had work, it sounds like, so maybe he wasn't just going for us? Just my luck.
I wonder if luck doesn't come into it.
Sorry? What was that?
Oh, nothing. Never mind.
Okay. Do
Let's
I
accept
have...
the room.
Do I have stuff?
Present the badge.
Oh my god, have a look at this armband, please.
It means a great deal to me, you know. That you cherish his armband so, and wear it each time you appear in court.
Well, it's very important to me. It's what shows me that I'm a lawyer. And whenever I wear it, I feel as though it gives me strength through Cosmo. I absolutely can't be without it, especially when I'm at a critical point in a trial.
But just the other day, I noticed it, or I noticed you were wearing it when we went to visit that park.
Sometimes I forget to take it off. Alright, let's examine.
Ladder!
No! I've investigated thoroughly. You fool!
No!
Why? Ugh.
What about the spade?
Soon. We've only been here in London for about 2 months, but my desk is starting to look a little messy already.
You could tidy it up once in a while.
Suzaru-san, I always say, making a mess is a small sacrifice to pay for being able to further your studies. And time spent studying up is time you can't devote to the same cause.
And time spent on ridiculous arguments is time that could be better spent on some simple housework.
She wins, but I'm supposed to be the lawyer here. That's good. Spade, you say? Oh,
Yeah.
Spade! Yes. That spade has been in here since we started renting the place.
Oh, that's not a spade, Naruhodo-san. It's a shovel.
No. Shovels are for digging. That's for scooping up loose material. It's a spade.
Is this the new stepladder?
This is the stepladder debate. No, spades are for digging. That's for scooping up loose material. It's a shovel.
I don't want to dig a hole for myself, so let's leave it. Pretty good. It's spring at last, and the weather is warmer now. But I love the smell of the fire and the steam rising from the kettle.
Oh, would you like some tea, Naruhodo-san?
Thank you, Suzaru-san.
There's a tea?
But I'm alright for now.
There is a tea.
Yeah. With the green tea Suzaru-san makes for me from time to time, and Iris's unique herbal infusions, this place is paradise for a true tea lover.
Green tea is such a wonderful accompaniment to British tea cakes, don't you think?
Ooh, that does sound nice. Yeah. So this is the tea set that Suzaru-san brought with her from Japan. Let's hope she doesn't notice me slipping sugar and milk into my cup when she makes it. It's just so bitter.
Tea is a drink to be enjoyed, Naruhodo-san. You really don't have to force yourself to drink it, you know. I don't like to see you screw up your face so.
Yeah, but I like it. I do like it with the tea and the milk and the sugar. It's great. Oh, what about this? The Dharma. Ah, the Dharma doll I brought with me from home. Still with only one eye colored in. I said I'd color the other eye in once I won my first court case here in Britain, but...
But you have one, haven't you? Twice, in fact.
I thought we had more work!
Yeah.
Because I feel as though I'm still lacking as a lawyer. I tell you what, why don't you color the other eye in once you think I'm a proper, fully fledged lawyer?
If you insist.
Oh, that sounds good.
She didn't go to fill in the eye. She doesn't think so.
Do you know, I've never seen inside your room there, Suzaru-san? I've never even peeped inside.
I should think so, too. A young maiden's private chamber is a place of bittersweet secrets, you know.
Whatever you say, young maiden. Okay, up, hang on. Whoop. Hey, what do we have here? Ah, this must be the telegram. Let's see.
Ah! No, you mustn't look at that. Not under any circumstances.
All right, I won't.
I'm sorry, Naruhodo-san. But you can be very mischievous at times.
Then put the telegram away if you don't want people looking at it. I mean, you should also just not do it. Onions? Okay, what's this?
Onion.
Onion.
We were rather lucky to find that old aquarium left behind here. The prawns we put in there are doing rather well. And the anemones, too. We have little pets!
And then
Little guys. Is one of them named Charlie?
Charlie.
Probably not. It's a wonderful invention, isn't it? The sea behind glass inside your room. Another example of Great Britain's greatness.
Having to clean it out and change the water isn't so great, though, is it? Yeah, but pets. It's great. Oh, the little fish flakes. That's great. Okay. Yeah, I guess we're good. Let's get out of here. Maybe that's not right. How about move then? Yes. Yeah, yes.
That's clearly calling to keep out Van Zeeks.
Hey, bro.
Morning, Runo. Morning, Susie.
Good morning, Iris.
Oof. Iris.
Oh my god.
What is it, Runo?
The violin.
What is that terrible noise? It sounds like a cat being strangled. Oh, God.
Oh, no.
Yes. You noticed that, did you?
Is he depressed?
Hurley isn't in his best form this morning, it seems.
You depressed today? Yes, you are.
Oh. Hello, Mr. Sholmes.
Good morning. Hey. Oh.
Oh.
Oh, Christ.
Good morning to die, perhaps.
Oh my god.
Has something happened, Mr. Sholmes? You look miserable in the way you were playing the violin before.
My analytical mind is dead. Music is dead. The world is dead. Damn this blighted existence! That's all it is, my dear fellow. Nothing of consequence.
This man needs some sugar.
I'm afraid I don't understand.
Get him a cupcake.
Well, Iris, isn't it time we ate? Some dried toast, instant coffee for me, if it's not too much trouble.
Meow.
Love that cat!
Kitty, kitty, kitty.
Is that the same cat from Sasaki-san's house? What? Oh, look, it's Wagahai? Hey, you have a name!
Wait,
You have a
Did-
little bow tie.
did Sholmes adopt this cat that was in Sasaki's house?
Maybe.
Good morning, boy.
Whoa!
Baby.
Love
Wait,
that cat.
Lunar.
No one is casted as a cat.
Nobody's
Is that-
cat. Well, it's cat,
What
the
did
cat's
you
voice
s-
himself.
Oh, yes. What did you just say? The cat that was where?
In Sasaki's house.
Yeah.
Oh.
There was a cat there, so yes.
There was a
your-
cat.
There was a cat
your-
there.
There
You
really
forgot?
was a
your
cat.
joke
just
was
forgot.
a
That is
cat.
exactly what I think the game was trying to imply when he said he was being suffocated.
That must be
Oh.
some sort of tiny door for cats to use.
Also, the name Wagahai is a reference to Sasaki's novel, I Am a Cat.
That makes sense. But how did it get here?
I misread it as Wang Hai.
Well then, everyone, time for breakfast.
Oh, wonderful. Let me help you, Iris.
That's right. The SS Burya did not allow pets. Oh, wait. Does that mean that Sasaki-san got the cat after he got here?
I don't think he realized there was a cat in his home.
Oh, he just
I
never
think
knew.
the cat just showed up
I think
and
that's
it was
the
sleeping
spirit.
on his face, and he thought it was a spirit trying
Oh,
to kill him.
I love that. Did you say this?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, indeed, it would be fine on a day to die.
I knew something looked different. Something's missing from Mr. Sholmes' desk. Well, let's talk, buddy. Wanting to die. You seem to be very unhappy this morning, Mr. Sholmes. What's happened?
It used to be the case that in my hands, this violin sung like the dawn chorus. The melodious tones would make flowers bloom.
It would?
But now the muses are unamused with me. The goddess of music has thrown me home.
Whatever do you mean, Mr. Sholmes?
For hours I have bowed, for days even, though the night I have endeavored to know of it. The sound, my tone, is lost. That brilliant, clear, unwavering tone gone forever! No more ridicule of the umbrella emotions!
Recitals!
Yeah!
Well, you haven't been practicing much lately, have you, Hurley?
Don't worry, I'm sure it'll come back to you in time.
Heed my word, Mr. Lord. The goddess of arts are fickle. One day they bestow genius on a man, and the next they unmercifully withdraw it.
Oh dear.
Why is this happening to me? If they take the turn I have of the violin away from me, what is left for pity's sake? What is left?
Deduction perhaps? Isn't that what you're known for? Oh, this machine.
Mr. Sholmes, I don't like to pry, but your desk looks rather empty today.
Oh, well done, Miss Susanna. Your observational skills do you credit.
Oh, no, Mr. Sholmes. They pale to insignificance when compared to yours.
You'd struggle not to notice, wouldn't you?
You mean Hurley's great analytics scope? That's at Windy Banks now.
Sorry? It's at Windy Bank?
It's at
No,
where?
silly. It's at Windy Banks, the pawnbrokery.
I thought you said Windy Bags at first.
Oh yeah, did you know there's this old lady called Wendy Bags here?
No!
Wait a minute.
Pawn.
They would.
What?
Wait a minute. It is a little similar.
Yeah, I don't put it past them.
You mean you've pawned that enormous machine of yours?
It has some considerable value, see? Quite disturbingly.
But isn't it a very important machine for your work?
Mm-hmm.
I do wish you had consulted us if your situation had become so desperate. I should have gladly passed what little income I have to you.
Dear madam, things are far from desperate.
But the pawnbroker has your wonderful machine. How can it be anything but desperate?
Making use of a pawnbroker is quite ordinary here in London, I assure you.
It is? It doesn't sound ordinary at all.
Hmm. It would seem that neither of you fully understand how pawnbrokering works.
Oh, what's to understand exactly? Let's talk about that.
Why did you die?
What did you mean when you said we didn't fully understand how pawnbroking works?
To the people of London, pawnbrokers are akin to banks.
Akin to Banks.
Thanks.
Clay, if you will. On Mondays, merchants relinquish their finest jackets and trappings at the pawnbroker of choice. With the money they receive in turn, they are able to trade happily through the week.
And then on Saturdays, they go recovering their things using the money they earned.
I had no idea. This has been a fascinating lesson for us.
Everyone does it, you see? Especially people in the London.
And should they have money to spare, they will purchase another fun jacket. Not too obviously, but to pawn should the need arise.
Oh, how ingenious!
So whenever we have something that's getting in the way, we leave it at Windy Banks, you see?
A pawnbrokery can be thought of as an extremely secure vault.
Who would have thought that even pawnbrokers are different here in Great Britain?
Of course, you have to watch Hurley with it. Sometimes he pawns things he really shouldn't. Don't you, Hurley?
No. What does it matter? The world is dead to me now.
Poor guy. Oh, let's examine. Oh, hi.
Wait.
Oh, okay, yeah. Mr. Natsume's cat seems to have settled into his new home then.
Oh yes! And I've been very attached to little Waggy.
Huh?
It appears previous owners completely forgot about him, just like God has forgotten about me. Cats are unfeeling creatures. Their mews are empty as the hearts of the muses.
You shut up!
That back right now.
Snap
You're
out of
not
it, man!
unfeeling, are you, Maisie?
Look at the cat, Mr. Hurley.
I do love that cat.
If Mr. Natsume has no intention of taking Waggy back to Japan, I wonder why he kept him in the first place.
I expect he would have taken him if he could, but pets are strictly forbidden aboard steamships in our experience.
And for good reason. Terrible things can happen if the rules of passage are not obeyed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think your guys is an extreme case though, Susato, but...
But, like, it still happened because
their only
somebody
experience.
brought a pet on board.
Still an extreme case.
Iris.
Well, I don't mind because Waggy is adorable.
Oh,
Meow.
yes, he really is.
Meow.
Oh, yes, what about the door? I don't remember seeing that tiny thing in the main door before. Where'd that come from?
Oh, you noticed? You're observant, Bruno. Look, I used this. It's my latest invention.
What,
A saw?
What is
Oh,
that? Is that just a door creator?
I call it the Cat Flapper Mat. Inator.
Inator.
Gosh, a machine for making doors just for cats.
That's right. I can make a cat flap for a little furry friend like Wag in seconds.
I can too, off a high place.
And it can do it in any door at all, no matter what it's made of. It's very powerful, you see.
Wouldn't it have been quicker just to make the cat flap rather than making a machine to make the cat flap?
Well, now you can use the machine over and over again.
It's true.
Well, yes, maybe. But now I can make cat flaps anywhere I like.
Oh, I think it's wonderful. You must make one for us in the office, to the door of our office upstairs, Iris.
Yes, that sounds great. Also, could you possibly get through that cat flap? It gave it a picture, so I'm wondering if it's gonna come back. She really knows how to come up with unconventional inventions, this girl. Yeah, that'll be back. Ah!
Meow. Oh, what was that?
Waka high? Ah!
Who's that?
Oh no! Wag is tangled up in your violin!
No! I think he thinks it's a toy.
No! What's he doing to it? Oh.
Oh dear. Mr. Sholmes' precious violin.
Let it die. Why should I care?
What?
I shouldn't be surprised. If the cat is a more accomplished musician than I am now.
God.
Mr. Sholmes really is in poor spirits, isn't he?
Well, anyway, I'll put it back where it lives, shall I, Hurley?
Out of the cat's reach, if possible. Maybe we should assess the damage. Okay.
Do we have the item in our hand?
No.
Oh, no, it's there.
So this is the violin, is it?
This is Stradivarius, one of the finest violins in the world. Made by the renowned Italian luthier, Antonio Stradivari.
Oh, I see. It doesn't really look like anything special to me.
I happened upon it covered in dust, languishing in a pawn shop down a nondescript back alley.
The broker had no idea of its value, so I was able to purchase it for a mere 55 shillings.
How honorable of you.
And until today, it had been my faithful companion in the great Pangini-inspired performance I have made.
Ouch.
I ask you, is there any reason to live in the world devoid of music? To tolerate this blessed existence? No! There is none!
Mr. Sholmes?
What is it, my dear madam? What? My thoughts are preoccupied with the fancies of release from this dull routine.
Well, it's about the violin. It looks very different to normal, don't you think?
What do you mean, Miss Susato?
Oh, Susie's right!
Oh, it sounds like it's doing pretty good to me.
Yes. The tone of the wood is completely different.
And that's not all. I'm sure there was no crack here before.
Wait,
Oh, the cat.
It's not even the right size, is it?
The viola!
What's this?
Throw that shit away.
I'm terribly sorry to have to tell you this, Mr. Sholmes, but that instrument isn't a violin at all.
It's a cello.
No.
Then, what?
Is it a viola?
I believe it's an entirely different instrument
Ah!
called a viola.
A voila!
Eat shit, violas.
Goodbye.
Oh, Mr. Sholmes, are you all right?
You're right! You're correct! This is my faithful Stradivarius! So, what, pray, is this piece of stringed Flomsat?
Wow! Not your favorite
What's that?
Flomsat. Just make it up new words. Just tossing out new ones, see how they work. Not your faithful performing partner, then.
The fuck word is flotsam?
It's like a piece of something floating in the water. A flotsam.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It basically just means what a load of nonsense.
That, so is flotsam.
It's
Hey, Jay.
driftwood. Flotsam is like driftwood.
Ah.
AJ, Little Mermaid.
Who's the
Flotsam.
Flotsams aplenty?
And Jetsam.
Flotsams and Jetsam? Are they fish?
It's Ursula's eels.
Oh, they had names?
Yeah.
She sings them!
Oh. Never caught that part.
I've learned so much today.
I see
Listen,
what
when the
must have
songs
happened.
start, my eyes kind of glaze over like, oh, there they go again.
You do, Iris.
The songs are important in musicals!
I want to go to the surface. Guess I'm done.
It's an I Want song!
I'm sorry.
This is just a simple mix-up.
It sounds like Iris might be able to tell us exactly what's happened if we ask her. Okay, did you go to the pawnbroker and accidentally get it mixed up? Hang on, you know what I'm remembering is that we never actually checked out this room, and I kind of want to do a little bit of that. Let's
Yeah,
go! There's all sorts of things on these shelves. Chemistry apparatuses, books, papers, and lots of things I've never seen before. It's all heaped up so high I can't help feeling that the whole lot is going to topple at any moment.
Oh, it's such a charmingly untidy collection of paraphernalia, isn't it?
It just looks messy to me, like my desk.
But you, Mr. Naruhodo, must learn to tidy up after yourself.
And he shouldn't? No favoritism there then.
Nope.
Tell me what this means. Ah yes, the letters V and R inscribed on the wall in bullet holes. Isn't it the initials of the Queen or something? Oh.
It's so delightful to see it in the flesh, having read about it in the stories. It was so inspiring. I've fired 100 arrows into my own wall at home to make the characters for Sue of Susato, you know.
Super, but perhaps there are some things the great detective does that you don't need to copy? No, that one's important.
Very.
Look at Mr. Sholmes' desk. It's completely clear. Isn't that enormous machine usually on it?
We can never hope to understand what goes on in the great detective's mind, Mr. Naruhodo. Why, next time we're invited, we may find he's vacated the entire suite.
That's scarily plausible, actually. Very few things on this side of the room, actually. Okay. Whee!
Oh, I saw something highlight.
There we go.
It looks like that huge metal chest is being used as a table for tea and coffee. It seems very sturdy with an equally sturdy lock.
Mr. Naruhodo, you mustn't go around opening things. I always have to keep my eye on you, don't I? You're very mischievous.
How did you come to that conclusion? Yeah. The fire is burning comfortingly in the grate again today. It's a very different feeling to a Japanese hibachi somehow.
Oh, look at that photographic print of a lady displayed on the mantelpiece. Could it be?
Oh.
Yes, it must be. It's the woman. Oh, how exciting.
Is that supposed to mean something to me? The woman awarded?
The woman?
The woman?
Referencing a character from the Sherlock Holmes stories, maybe?
Maybe.
Mona Lisa?
The woman.
Maybe.
Is it the Mona Lisa from the?
It is
4K
Irene
movie?
Adler. Okay, that makes sense. These
The
are
woman.
These are all mementos of Mr. Sholmes' past cases, I think. If he'd been involved in my case, I wonder if the beefsteak from Le Carnival would be on display here.
A mystery shoe, a curious hammer, some mysterious dancing men, a bust of Napoleon.
Partridge in a pear tree.
Oh, what an entrancing collection.
It looks like an untidy assortment of junk to me, rather like what's on my own shelves.
Well, you really ought to learn to keep your things in order, Mr. Naruhodo.
No favoritism there at all. Okay. Nope. Nothing. A little bit more. Haven't even seen this yet. Hello. This is where Iris notes down ideas, isn't it? Let's see. What does it say today? Ah, the Boscombe Valley Mystery.
Oh, how intriguing.
Just looks like math, but okay.
It must be the title of Iris's latest work. Oh my. I wonder what fantastic tale awaits us.
Susato-san looks like an angel, but I bet she's dreaming of the most unsavory crime you could imagine.
Arson?
The hell? Iris's beautiful tea set is there on the table as usual. A cup of one of her special herbal blends always helps me to relax when I'm feeling the strain.
The English pastime of tea has many similarities with our own tea ceremonies customs, don't you think? It's the idea of hospitality behind it. That's the essence of tea.
I guess so. Oh. That's a charming little white shelf, and full of charming little bottles, too. But the contents of them aren't quite so charming, it seems.
Science is the future, Mr. Naruhodo. You can't deny it. I'm saving my money so that I can buy some chemistry apparatus as well.
Law, chemistry, takedown throws. What diverse skills you boast, Miss Susato.
As useful as they are, I'm not sure that my throwing skills are worthy of inclusion in that list.
I am
Oh,
not.
they are.
I'm not sure I agree. What's over here? Come to think of it, I haven't seen Iris doing much writing recently. But there's paper already set up in the typewriter. Look, as if she's about to start.
That reminds me. When I mentioned that Iris was in the process of writing a full-fledged novel, Mr. Natsume was most impressed.
Ah yes, Mr. Natsume.
That's what I'll be doing too once I'm back in Japan, he said through tightly clenched fists and teeth.
Okay. Yep. Looks like that's the end of that. Okay, Iris, we're here to talk to you now. Boop. The mix-up. What did you mean by a mix-up, Iris?
Well, you see, this violin... Sorry, this viola, I mean... was at Windy Bags until last week.
At the pawnbroker's?
Not Mr. Sholmes' beloved musical partner.
There's a proverb from the East with which you are no doubt familiar, my dear fellows. Always let a beloved child travel. Oh, that's like
Yes,
the thing that said
indeed.
The kids up errand and get
That,
the
yeah,
thing.
I think that's probably
Yeah.
what they're talking about, yeah. So you sent your beloved violin to a pawnbroker's in the hope that it would experience personal growth?
Oh, what a wonderful idea.
Well, my wallet certainly did.
We're not pawning the sword.
Last week, I pawned my great endlitoscope in order to release my previous instrument. But it would appear Mr. Windybag mistakenly furnished me with this tawdry fiddle instead. Mr. Windybag.
Bank! It's at Windabank.
Oh. But my ears cannot be deceived by the hollow timber of this piece of timber. Wait, yes.
No.
I hate this, but that first word is timbre.
But it had an eye in it.
Yeah, I know. It's French.
There's an eye!
There's an eye.
No, but your every sense was deceived by the fact that it just had strings.
Yes. Pshaw! A fine state of affairs this is! And as I always say, Mr. Naruto, never trust a pawnbroker! They will try to fiddle you every time!
But earlier you told us that you could think of a pawnbrokery as an extremely secure vault.
For their own money? Come, Mr. Naruto! That will get you nowhere.
What about shilly-shallying?
Crunching your toast with a vacant aspect? Fretting your coffee so obtusely? Are you not a little embarrassed by your own conduct, considering the urgency in which you are faced?
We must visit Mr. Windybank's brokery at once. That's right, isn't it, Mr. Sholmes?
Precisely, Mr. Susato. Without a moment's delay.
But I haven't finished my bacon and eggs.
My dear fellow! Surely you do not still intend to crunch your bacon with an increasingly vacant aspect? To fresh your egg more, even more obtusely?
Alright, say no more, let's go then.
Don't worry, Runo. I'll be happy to heat it up again for you later.
Oh, thank you, Iris. As it happens, I am rather curious to see what a British pawnbroker looks like. Okay, let's go. Ooh, 2 new spots. Sholmes' Suite, Baker Street, Windybank's pawnbrokery. I just can't speak today. Let's just go. Just go.
Squint.
Why are we squinting?
What's there to squint at?
We can't be squinting.
Don't be
not- She
Windbags.
can't.
The
be here.
ancestor.
She can't.
Squint.
Don't. Well, they said Mr. Windybank. So, this is a British pawnbrokery.
Maybe he
Oh
has
my.
a mother.
There are all sorts of tools and contraptions in here that I've never laid my eyes on before.
Ah, Susato-san. And that spark of wonder in your eyes. You can't wait to scour the shelves, can you? I get the impression you enjoy places like this.
Oh, yes. I don't know why, but seeing such a lot of things I don't understand is a real thrill for me.
My dear fellows, let us not forget why we are here.
Oh, Mr. Sholmes.
We are calling on matters of business, not pleasure.
Hang on, take that punch again. Take that punch again.
Which
Right
punch it?
into her head. And clearly Mr. Sholmes means business too, judging from the spark of fury in his eyes.
Why are you punching me?
No,
Oh.
no, it's a 1-inch punch. It's one away from your head.
That's not.
Mr. Solskjaer, welcome back.
Okay.
That's sad.
I should not keep that voice for him.
Did you hear that brazen welcome?
Well, yes, we are potential customers after all.
We are disgruntled customers, Mr. Naruto. And it is time to inform Mr. Windybanks of our ire. Come! The fight is afoot.
Hello. Let's talk.
Naturally, you will recall this, which I retrieved from you some days ago.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
This second-rate fiddle is not my faithful instrument, Mr. Wendybank. The color of the wood is different. It has holes in it. It's not even the same size.
A wonderful summary of our observations, Mr. Sholmes.
I'm so very sorry, sir. What an unforgivable of me, an inexcusable mistake for a pawnbroker. There's only one way to make amends. Let me go.
Ah!
Let me go.
What? What the?
No!
What the fuck?
No!
I've had my whole life.
No!
Where did this come from?
What the hell, game?
You know the rules.
So do I.
Say goodbye?
No.
Hmm.
Show him, stop him.
No, I don't think that'd be necessary, do you?
If I may just say one thing before I pop off.
Stop.
No.
Don't make light of this game.
This is not a funny joke.
Yes?
It was you, Mr. Shaw, who took it upon yourself to remove the item the other day, I believe.
Sorry?
As I recall, I entered the storeroom to fetch your violin when I heard, here it is.
You did?
And when I tried to controvert you, you had taken the viola and left, sir.
But once again, it's just because he's a dumbass.
Yep.
However, there can be no doubt that the blame lies firmly at my own door, for allowing you to leave. So I shall not grumble over your cross any longer. May this guilt die with me.
No.
Oh my god. Jesus.
Thank you.
Whew.
It would appear that the fight is over.
I do apologize, Mr. Windybag. Evidently, my questionable disposition procured this tragedy.
Wow.
Well, you wouldn't be Mr. Herlock Sholmes without that questionable disposition now, would you?
Ouch.
I do believe you may be right, sir.
It's either laugh or cry, I suppose.
You are, it must be said, one of my more challenging customers. I need to remind you of a peculiar collection of items you've brought through my door in the past.
Oh? Peculiar items?
In the extreme, ma'am. For example, the unpublished manuscript of an eponymous work, the novels of Herlock Sholmes, or some such.
Oh my! A new full-fledged novel? And unpublished? A story I haven't yet to read, you mean?
Ah!
Forgive me!
Stop it! Wait, before you die, you must tell me more.
Before you die.
This joke isn't funny!
I must know more. Tell me everything.
Wow, Susato-san is really fired up now.
Is there really an unpublished story? Under this very roof?
Well, one day the gentleman here brought an old metal chest, you see.
I should like to entrust this to your care for a while, Mr. Windybank.
For a chest like that, 1 shilling, sir. Not a farthing more.
It houses something of great value indeed. The latest manuscript recounting the adventures of one Mr. Herlock Sholmes.
I beg your pardon, a manuscript. You wish to deposit a manuscript?
Indeed I do, for I am confident it will be quite safe here.
And that was that. As such, Mr. Sholmes' latest tale of otherworldly mystery lies dormant in my storeroom.
Mr. Sholmes, is that really true? Do I sense that someone doesn't want to talk about this?
I continue to pay off your fee, do I not? Then kindly continue to store my belongings securely.
Of course, sir. Of course. They're safe and sound with me, I assure you. On my life.
This is all very strange. Okay, we'll keep going. I wonder, could I ask you something?
Ah, a gentleman from the east, I see. Yes, that sable suits. I suppose I could offer you a 6 pence for it. Without wishing to offend, the tone is somewhat dull.
Sorry?
Aha! But for your splendid attire, ma'am, 5 guineas, no less.
That's
The
beer.
colors are exquisite. The design exotic. Is it artistry at its finest, I must say.
Oh my! 5 guineas, you say?
Yeah, but you don't want to give that up, do you?
How interesting.
Why do I feel as though I've suffered some sort of defeat here? Actually, I was hoping to ask you about your business. I've heard it said that pawnbrokeries are used rather like banks here in London.
Yes, indeed. Many of our customers utilize the establishment as you describe. I appraise their items and offer them a proportional loan and 2 months of a secure stowage. If, in that time, they repay the original sum to me plus the agreed interest, their items are happily returned.
But what happens if they don't pay you the money?
You rake them across the coals.
Then the items are offered for sale in my shop, as you can see on the shelves behind me.
So you never.
No!
I see it. I see it.
What?
Thank
What?
You, statue.
Well, yeah.
Hmm?
Oh no!
Oh. This man's dead.
Something smells here.
Oh no.
So you never sell items before the 2 months has passed, then?
That's right, ma'am, that's right. Which means some considerable responsibility rests on my shoulders. Could a customer's precious belonging be lost, the only recompense is for me to end it all.
The very idea, Mr. Windybank, is an absurdity. One should never talk of one's demise so casually.
Yeah. Says the man who was telling us all it was a good day to die only this morning.
I got better.
You did get better.
And let us not forget that I have already helped you take measures to ensure such a tragedy never occurs.
Oh, what sort of measures?
A gun.
Oh, well, that you.
I engineered a simple device which Mr. Windybank has installed here in the shop. I call it the Red-Handed Recorder. Is that not so, Mr. Windybank?
What was that deep sigh about? What on earth is a red-handed recorder?
Use your eyes, my dear fellow. There are 2 lying just below the ceiling.
I can see what appears to be a camera attached to some sort of timing device.
Am I supposed to be seeing it somewhere here?
I
Oh,
don't think so.
wait, do they mean this thing? right now, it doesn't look like it. It's probably not that. Probably not. Okay.
There's a camera, like somewhere up there.
Okay.
Huh. Very astute. It is indeed a camera furnished with some 100 pieces of celluloid film. And every 30 minutes precisely, the camera automatically records the appearance of the shop. This man is dead.
Yeah.
Oh God, is he gonna get shot in the head and it's gonna look like a suicide? Oh no.
That's it.
Yeah, I have
That's
this
it.
sample I can show you.
Hold sick. This man is dead.
This man is so dead. Oh no.
This man is dead. Everyone wave goodbye to the man.
Bye-bye, Mr. Sholmes.
Oh, yes, a print from the camera said to record the activity at the shop counter. Oh God, they all take color pictures. Must have been expensive.
Color?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Apparently, and it's a very special type of film, so sensitive there's a crystal clear image even in the darkness.
Really?
But I
That's-
will not sell it for money. I like my money problems.
That's
Look at that dog.
I do love that dog. That's a great dog. That's extraordinary.
Very,
dog?
very
What
good dog.
Mhm.
Yes, you can clearly see the counter and the door the door behind it. Look.
That's also.
So you see, were someone to enter the premises with ill intent, his identity would be similarly compromised.
Okay, yeah, that too.
As long as he was here for more than 30 minutes.
But did you not say that the photographic prints were taken at 30-minute intervals?
Indeed, as you say, my dear madam.
Then what if the incident were to occur in between times?
One could only say that would be a cruel twist of fate.
I must confess, your device has been giving me some causes distress as of late.
I beg your pardon, Mr. Windybank. Surely they are anything but distressing. Reassuring is the word.
It's the cost of the film, sir. You most graciously placed not one, but 2 cameras in my shop after all.
Oh, they staggered?
Which means I must pay for nigh on 100 utterly useless prints every single day.
Yeah.
I'm afraid the cost of the film will break me before I'm very much older.
Nevertheless, a small price to pay to ensure the safety of my profound pawnbrokery, no? My dear fellows, we verge on the age where safety and security comes at a price.
Oh, heavens help us! Now then, Mr. Sholmes, allow me to return your precious violin.
That's the very thing. Thank you, Mr. Windybank.
So how did you mistake the other one for this exactly?
He's
He's
an
colorblind.
idiot.
Man.
I have the wrong colors, the lenses on.
Perhaps this is the mark, or this marks the end of the peculiar items you tried to pop, Because if anything were to happen to one of them, this would be the only answer.
I really think you ought to stop waving that gun around. Someone could get hurt.
Fear not.
Sorry?
I've only loaded a single bullet, so no one but myself could possibly be harmed.
Oh my god, this man's dead!
That's not really what I meant.
Good day to you then, Mr. Windybank. I cannot wait to see you again.
It's going to be great to see you again, Mr. Windybank. I'm
my
going to come
God.
sell
Yep.
things later this week.
Such great
Looking
visits.
forward to
Great
seeing you
confidence.
alive
As
and
always, Mr.
well.
Yes.
How many, how many death flags can one man raise in 10 minutes?
I think the
Anyways,
man
I'm
is a
gonna
death
retire in
flag.
3 days.
We will remove the man and just place a death flag right here.
And the day I retire, I will propose to my beloved.
Go!
On the first day of your next job.
So,
My
Mr.
beloved
Naruhodo,
Gwendolyn.
we can explore at last.
Uh-huh. Okay, well, chat says that they like the examines in here, so let's have a look. There seems to be a little door hidden behind that curtain there.
That leads to the storage room, where Mr. Wendybank keeps articles that are currently in pawn.
Ah, I see.
There's nothing of particular interest inside. I certainly wouldn't recommend any lascivious activities.
Recommended or not, it's not something I intend to do.
There's but one key, and Mr. Wendybank keeps it in his pocket at all times. My very nice, happy, alive friend. My favorite man in the world. Before he sleeps, he places it into a small pot, which he slides under his pillow.
How do you know this? Oh, yeah.
Well, how on earth do you know that, Mr. Sholmes?
I am a detective, sir. It is my business to know what others do not. I am frequently assailed by information that I neither care for nor wish to retain.
Mr. Sholmes, you are a wonder.
And the prime suspect at this pawnbrokery is ever burgled. Alright, what else we got?
As if that would ever happen.
As that would ever happen.
Oh,
Look at that enormous ledger open on the counter there.
that's me.
Oh,
Look
sorry.
at that enormous, whatchamacallit over there.
Is the ledger.
Ledger up on the counter over there.
Doing great.
Mr. Wendybank is, if nothing else, very particular about recording the items he keeps. He's such a good man with notes.
He'd have to be, otherwise he'd get himself into all sorts of trouble. Which might
Right, it'll be very bad evidence for later.
Which might explain the thing that catches my eye far more than the ledger. This revolver here.
Uh-huh.
Do not entertain even a single thought of pilfering an article herein, my dear fellow. I assure you, Mr. Wendybank would not hesitate to draw that weapon with a speed belying his portly size.
Oh,
What noise?
you don't mean he'd.
Blow your brains out? Indeed. In recompense for his blunder.
And not the robber?
Oh
He's not a very
my.
smart man.
But in any case, of course we would never do such a thing. How could
The best
you even
offense is a
suggest
good
it?
defense. Even with a gun.
No, it's a bad defense. This is a very bad one. This is very bad.
Oh, look at this. Oh, what could this lovely big shiny box be?
That, my dear madam, is a music box. Surely you have seen such things in your own country?
Oh my. Yes, but I've certainly never seen one so large before.
Shall we listen for a while?
What a sublime sound. It's like the music of angels.
I've never heard anything like it before in my life.
This particular specimen is of the larger variety, commonly found in public houses and restaurants. There is a metal disc inside in which the notes to be played are recorded in a dents in the spinning disc. Simply by replicating the disc, or with another, any music you care to imagine can be played.
My goodness. What a simply delightful machine.
Indeed. Though their popularity has waned recently with the development of the gramophone, of course.
Science and technology advance at such overwhelming pace.
That's true. Alright, what else we got? This stuff.
what an assortment of things there on these shelves, or what an assortment of things that are there are on these shelves here. Crockery, footwear, clocks and watches, almost anything you care to imagine.
Those are forfeit items offered for sale by the pawnbroker.
What does that really mean, though?
When you pawn or colloquially pop an item, the broker loans you money against its worth. He stores the item for an agreed period of time, after which the loan must be repaid. If not, he is free to display it in his shop for sale at the price of his choosing.
Oh, yes. Now you've explained it, I'm noticing little price tags on everything.
Of course, simply by paying the agreed interest on the loan, one can extend the period of safekeeping. So you may pawn that black garb of yours without fear, my dear fellow.
My treasured university uniform? Never! It embodies my student spirit!
Oh, spirit!
School spirit!
School spirit!
Okay.
Yeah!
This thing?
Now, what do you suppose this rather enormous machine does?
It seems to have 2 little windows for looking through.
Allow me to enlighten you, my dear fellows. What you are looking at is a stereoscope.
A stereoscope. Fascinating.
It is aptly named, I assure you. Look through the eyepiece and see for yourself.
Oh, I should be delighted to. Excuse me a moment while I just have a look.
Just before you do, there is something I should point out. I laid black ink around the lenses. You'll look alive. My dear fellows, in order to see the image properly, stereoscopically, as it were, you will need to be cross-eyed. However, if that is beyond you, it is of little consequence today.
All right then, I'm going to try it. Ah! Mr. Naruhodo, you must see at once.
You won't see
all
it.
right then. So I need to be cross-eyed, like I'm trying to look at my own nose. Okay.
Say hello to a mechanic that was meant to be used in 3D.
Oh. What
Oh,
the-
hey, it's working. Oh, God, what is happening?
Yeah, actually, let me give this a shot.
I literally can't.
How am I
I
supposed
am
to
a
do this?
master plus in my
It
eyes.
kind of works. A little bit. I see it. I don't believe it.
Yeah.
It is always easier on smaller surfaces, so when it's on a big monitor, it's harder.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's just a photographic
Oh.
print, but it seems like you could reach out and touch it.
If crossing your eyes is beyond you, simply slide the 3D depth slider on your Nintendo 3DS.
Oh, that was the thing that it was beyond.
Yeah.
Oops.
Oops!
Oh well.
Oopsie boopsie. Yes, the sense of depth is startling, is it not? Stereoscopes are one of London's many fads. They are often found in little stalls in the park. People queue for hours to see them. Queue.
Why are people meddling with such black magic?
It is not magic, my dear madam. It is, well, far too complicated to explain at present. We shall save this lesson for another day. Disregard the next book that I read.
Oh.
Oh, well, okay. So was that conversation dramatically different in the other version?
Probably a couple of lines that were
I mean, I
omitted,
don't
I'd
know.
say. Like, if you could just turn on 3D vision with a
Mm.
slider.
Look at this. Whatever could this be used for?
I have no idea.
Oh. There's a small catch just here. Look.
we're going to open it, aren't we?
Mhm. Oh my! That's amazing! It has some sort of spring-loaded mechanism.
Which we'll never manage to put back the way it was before.
Oops.
What are you two doing?
What? Us? Nothing? No, nothing at all. Whatever this device is, it seems to have a pair of little windows to look through. I feel as though I've seen something rather similar to this elsewhere. Wait, is it April Fool's Day right now? No. Okay.
No.
No,
15th.
girl, I thought the same thing. I was really excited.
That's not a calendar you could easily miss, is it? 15th of April, today's date.
Why does the April 15th stand out to me? Isn't that an important day of some kind?
It's 5 days before 420.
And 2 days after
Yeah.
Homestuck Day.
Maybe that's it.
Yes, that's not for sale, I must point out. It's an Eastern-style page-a-day calendar. Every night at midnight, I tear off the front page to reveal the following day's date.
The perfect calendar for a tearaway fellow such as yourself, Mr. Windybank. I don't know what that means.
And who was it that walked out of here with the wrong violin before?
Well, when the agreed storage period has passed without the repayment, articles are forfeited, you see. So to keep a close eye on the dates. It's something of a pawnbroker's obsession, you might say.
Oh, yes. I can see you're very dedicated to your job.
Wander?
Oh,
I
only
don't
a
think it's
Dobbins-
Wander.
Oh.
Give them the voice.
Well, only a Dobbins for it. They ain't foul, you know it.
Oh, it's me, isn't it?
Oh,
It's Lunar.
okay.
Oh.
That was worth a penny, miss. I cannot offer more.
Sounds like there's an argument brewing over by the counter.
Come on, that can't be right. Have you had a proper butcher's? God damn it! Have you had a proper
Well-
butcher's at it?
Butcher's hook
Can you
rhymes
guess
with
who
what?
it is?
Yeah, I realized who it was.
Yeah.
I've seen all I need to see, young girl.
Hello.
There she is.
Our friend.
Wait, don't we know? I'm sure I recognize her.
Oh, yes, it's the young lady from Mr. McGilded's trial 2 months ago.
Howdy. Well, let's roll that one back.
Howdy.
Her name is Guinness Lestrade, my lord.
Guinness! No!
No, not even
She is
remotely.
Johnson. And her custom among the large crowds, relieving people of their purses. What's commonly called a pickpocketer. She carries a piece.
Achoo!
Gordon Bennett, you lot!
Stop it.
Hello,
Oh,
Miss
she still has it.
Lestrade. I hope you've been well. Huh? What? You remember me then, do ya?
I bet that reloading animation looks really cool in first person.
I am. Well, I remember being completely surrounded by smoke, that's for sure.
So, what are you lot doing in here? Down and out like the rest of us. Nothing to eat? Having to pop that black weasel. Sorry, coat, have you?
Is it about this
Oh.
black uniform that makes everyone comment on it?
Weasel and stoat rhymes with coat.
Oh, good day, unless I am much mistaken. You wouldn't be the young pickpocket we stole our experimental smoke grenade launcher.
Ah, Mr. Sholmes.
So you have something of value to pawn, do you? Let me just see this article, and I shall negotiate with Mr. Windybank on your behalf.
Pull the other one. I don't need no elbow from some stuck-up D.
Get out of my business. Go on, or I'll make trouble for you.
As you wish, Miss Lestrade. I will happily remove myself from your presence. Swoosh.
He's really done it. He's gone.
I'm sorry, but as I said, there really is no room for negotiation here.
What is that thing he has in his hand? Some kind of metal disc? For the music thing?
For the
Yeah.
music.
And you. Go on, leave me alone.
Oh, Miss Lestrade, just pretend we're not here. We shan't be offended in the slightest.
Suzato-san can really stand her ground when she wants to.
Whatever.
Well, let's talk. Somehow I didn't really think you were the sort of person who'd use a pawnbroker, Miss Lestrade.
Yeah, well, I am, alright. I'm a Londoner, just like everyone else. Not a problem, is it?
No, not at all. It's just that, well...
Oh, I get it. I know what you're thinking. That thing probably doesn't even belong to her. Probably got it off, or got it on the dive, didn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see it written all over your Chevy Chase.
Well,
That's a person.
Might have been thinking something along those lines, yeah.
You're not going to deny it, huh, Mr. You're not going to deny it, Mr. Naruhodo.
Alright then, I'm just gonna come out and ask you straight. Do you pawn things that you steal from other people?
Well, I don't know how best to answer that, really.
Yes.
No.
Suppose. Sometimes. You're not going to deny it either, Miss Lestrade. But not this time, alright? I swear. That thing belongs to me!
The disc that Mr. Windibank is holding. Perhaps we should see what he has to say about all this. Okay. We'll go find him then. You. Okay, yeah.
Mr. Windibank, what exactly is this metal disc Miss Lestrade has brought in? Seems to have hundreds of tiny little bumps on the surface.
This is music disc, you see, for use in music box.
Really?
In a music box.
I know, surprising everyone.
The devil, you say?
What, you don't even know what a music box is? You Easternlaw ain't too savvy, eh?
I know what a music box is, I've just never seen one of these discs before.
The small protrusion of the metal disc encodes the tune to be played into by the music box. You simply insert the disc and set the machine going, and beautiful music plays.
It's so incredible. Tell us, what tune is on this disc?
Well, I'm afraid I couldn't tell you that.
Shaving a haircut.
There are many different types of music boxes, you see. British made, German, Swiss. I have no way of knowing... Swish. No way of knowing which particular machine this disc was made for.
Not the cheese?
I see.
No. Well, yes, the cheese, but I just wanted to pronounce it differently. Swish.
Ah.
There's no holes in it.
Did we look at the same disc?
I thought it was little, like, bumps and stuff.
It's not like yellow. Yes, on the disc would be little bumps, and as the bumps pass by each little differently length metal strand, it'll produce a different
And that's
tone
it in
based
a
on the resonance
nutshell.
of the metal of the...
I guess there's one hole.
I wouldn't have any customers for an item like this, even if the young lady forfeited it.
Well, one big one and then boop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doop all around the edges.
Well, I thought those were also bumps. Are they not?
I don't know, I guess.
Yeah, actually appear to be holes. You're not just saying
Maybe
that.
they're holes.
I don't know.
Really, I'm already offering more than I should at a penny.
Penny?
That's a packet of lies. He told me he did. He said it was, well,
He? Who?
Never you mind. It just ain't right, that's all. That disc worth good money, I know it is.
Well then, you'll have to try your luck at another pawnbroker's, won't you?
Ah,
She's been in before, of course. This little tatterdemalion.
Sorry, hang on. Yeah?
Tatterdemalion.
Tatterdemalion.
Okay, yeah.
I said it correctly for once.
You
I
did.
see.
That sounds like one of my words.
And brought some dubious article or other with every single time, I might add.
Dubious? What are you trying to say? I'm an honest customer, me.
Where'd you get that gun?
Where did you?
This gun was made for me.
Mr.
Hey,
Winterbank.
Sholmes!
So, is there something dubious about the disc she brought in today?
Well, if only it were that simple.
Sorry, what do you mean?
What she actually brought in was a storage ticket.
Ah, a storage ticket. So, Miss Lestrade has actually come to redeem an article from you today. Is that right? Yeah, that's right. A girl like me has lots of stuff what needs storing.
Alright, yes, that's definitely dubious.
The article in question would have been forfeited at midnight tonight. But she gave me the ticket for it and repaid both the loan and the interest. I was obliged to return the article to her.
Okay.
But what was the article? Do tell us, Mr. Winterbank.
The little scab is wearing it, ma'am. It's the overcoat that she redeemed.
Oh,
Very fashionable.
yeah, looks cool.
What's wrong with it? It fits, don't it? I mean, it's mine, so of course it does. So, what about the disc then? How does that come into all this?
Ah, the disc is something else. A new article to pawn, if the girl and I can agree a price.
I'm confused. I thought you said that Miss Lestrade brought in a storage ticket today.
It's really quite simple. Yes, the child brought me a storage ticket, and the money on it, as you say.
For this heavy black coat, which you returned to her care, as I had understood it.
That's right, yes. And rather unsurprisingly, as soon as the little ragamuffin put the thing on, she went rifling through the pockets.
Oh, you mean...
What? Don't you know it's rude to stare at a lady? Ah, I see. So it came from the pocket of the overcoat, did it?
If you mean this disc, then yes, exactly, ma'am.
And she immediately tried to pawn it.
For quite a high price as well. This is all rather suspicious, I think.
Give it up. I'm just trying to pawn something like anyone else would. Miss Lestrade, may I ask who deposited the overcoat here in the first place? Well, me.
It doesn't really appear to be your size.
Me old man. It's me old man's, ain't it? Is it, Miss Lestrade?
Yes, this is definitely all rather suspicious. Wander.
Out of my way, please!
Okay.
Damn it!
Oh.
Oh.
Who's
The
this?
design.
Who's this picture postcard English gentleman? Oh.
Good day to you, ladies, gentlemen.
In that order.
What's your problem, eh?
There's no problem as long as you remove yourself. I've a matter to discuss with the proprietor. And if you intend to make a problem of it, I shall see you outside, little girl, for the hiding you deserve.
What the hell?
Ain't you?
Look, ain't it obvious? I ain't done talking with him yet. If you think you're such a gent, you should know how to wait in line.
Well, you're an impotent little brat, aren't you? As well as a pickpocket.
Eh? Who are you? How do you know who I am?
The question is, how do you not know who I am?
Are you gonna be another Sherlock-ish character?
Moriarty?
You haven't the courtesy even to remember the faces of your victims, it seems.
Oh, could he be Moriarty?
What?
Or the
You mean from you?
Broker. Yes, sir. I believe this filthy pocket thief has just redeemed an article from you, no? Yes, maybe Water should take Windy Bag instead from me. Windy Bank.
Okay.
The article in question belongs to me. I demand for it to be returned at once.
Oh my. Now that's a lie. What are you trying to pull?
Give me back my overcoat, you Vastral, and needless say, I can dance. And a music box disc too.
No,
Alright, look,
you can't have
look
it.
here, Jojo.
Just can't.
I am very much a JoJo.
It's me old man's. Or it was, and now it's mine. Goodness, Mr. Naruhodo. This is a very awkward situation.
Yes. I think perhaps we should hear both sides of the story in a little more detail. Sholmes, come back. Sholmes.
You've got this.
No.
Miss Lestrade, is what the gentleman is saying. What do you think? It's all lies, ain't it? Obviously. I swear on my life, I ain't ever laid eyes on that dandy before.
What voice should you have? Let's
I
hear
didn't
now,
quite
you
know
little
what to do
ragamuffin.
with it.
What?
I didn't quite know what to do with it myself.
Let's hear it now, you little ragamuffin. You stole it, didn't you? That ticket you brought in here just now?
No! I swear it! I swear to God!
It was barely an hour ago. I was walking along the street minding my own business, when this little gutterling ran into me. I knew at once what had happened. I've been robbed yet again, I thought to myself. Those wretched pickpockets.
Yet again.
Oh yes, as you can see, I'm a man of impeccable style.
Christ.
Eh.
Look at my tie.
Yeah, lose the hat. We'll talk about it.
The
It's my
hat
finest
is
hat.
perfect.
It sucks.
It's my dad's Dimmadomes.
It does suck.
I'm sorry. Is it to Balan Wonderland?
Yep.
This isn't the first time that I've been targeted by these backslum scoundrels. Still can dance. Now then, relinquish my overcoats.
What about your friends?
Come along now, Miss Lestrade. Give the good gentleman his coat back. If you're going to cause trouble, I shall have no choice but to call the police.
Hold on. Why does everyone think it's me?
Well,
Just look at his dandy cove. And you think I'm the dodgy one?
I'm sorry, but no one's going to believe you.
Well, what about evidence? Yeah. Where's your evidence that I've stolen something, eh? Come on, let's see it.
Oh, I have evidence, naturally.
You what?
What?
You what?
you fucking what, mate?
What?
You what,
What?
mate?
Evidence that the article Miss Lestrade redeemed actually belongs to this gentleman.
You what?
You what, mate? Of course.
What's all
Of
this?
course.
then?
We
coffee,
need
mate?
only consult Mr. Winterbank's ledger to know the truth.
Alright, we all got it out of our system. We all had a good... well, we did.
You what?
You what?
Ew,
Sorry.
what?
There's a little more.
I'm
There's
a
a little
what?
more in there.
I'm a
I'm a
what?
What? What?
Nope, sorry.
Not out of our
nope.
system,
Not
apparently.
out of our system. Still in there.
Wizard.
We'll be able to...
Okay, I'm done.
Me too.
We'll be able to... God damn it.
What happened?
What?
We'll be able to look up the name of the person who deposited the article in the first place.
Yes, brilliant.
I'm very sorry, but I'm afraid that won't be possible.
Oh,
I never ask customers' names. It's a strict policy of mine.
But why not?
Well, now, as you can imagine, some of my customers have circumstances to consider. A great many of them prefer to maintain their anonymity.
yes, I see. But then, how can you know if an article belongs to the person asking to redeem it?
Do I look like I care? Oh, it's quite simple. Good sir. Might I trouble you for the watchword associated with the article in question?
Of course, it's
Moriarty.
Professor.
God damn.
Oh no, I think it might be.
Yeah. Yes, that's right. And all the evidence we need. The gentleman is the rightful owner of this article, without doubt.
A watchword? Interesting. I want to know this man's name. Tell me your name.
God damn.
So about these watchwords, Mr. Winterbank. Oh,
Wonderbanks.
Wanderbanks.
As I just explained, I never ask customers' names when they deposit items with me. There are many reasons why certain customers would like to keep their activities a secret.
That wasn't exactly a subtle glance at Mr. Sholmes now, was it?
Great detectives have no dark secrets. Not at all.
Yes, well, anyway, that's why I ask for a watchword whenever I accept a new article. In many ways, it's like the secret combination of numbers I use to unlock a vault. The date of deposit, a description, and a watchword uniquely identify each item. And of course, then I give a storage ticket to the customer. When somebody comes to redeem something, I ask for the ticket and the watchword.
And if that someone tells you the correct watchword, you return the article.
That's right, sir, yes. Just as soon as the requisite fee is paid. Yes.
And I have supplied you with the information you require already. But for the evidence of doubt. The article in question is an overcoat deposited 2 months ago on 15th of February. With a watchword of Professor.
Well, perfectly correct information, sir.
But how?
Really, this is beyond a joke now. There's no further room for doubt.
Okay. Examine the strange man. Are you a JoJo? Excuse me, but who you?
One would expect the inquirer to introduce himself first. Though clearly you are not British, so perhaps our ways are foreign to you.
Oh, sorry. Yes, we're from the Empire of Japan. We're studying here.
Oh yes, Japan. I heard talk of the place. Shimmy!
Huh?
Its inhabitants live on some very brown-colored soup, dressed up in some with exotic spices.
Sorry, what? Huh?
What?
No?
You might be thinking of somewhere else. And what was that theatrical gesticulation about?
Perhaps. Anyway, if you're a gentleman, sir, you offer your name first before inquiring after the name of another.
Of course, yes. I'm Ryunosuke Naruhodo. I'm a lawyer. Well, a student of law, really.
My name is
Jackie.
Sato Mikotoba. I am Mr. Naruhodo's assistant.
I see. My name is Benedict. Yes, Egbert Benedict.
Ooh,
Egbert.
no, it's not. No, don't let me. That's no.
Cumberbatch?
In the fan translation, it was Cumberbatch.
Was it
Was
Okay.
it really?
amazing?
Good job, fan
Amazing.
translation. You knew what you needed to do.
He's so refined in how he holds himself and how he speaks, but
Yeah.
that name is fake.
Now, oh, was it just Egg Benedict? Ah, I thought it was Cumberbatch.
It's Eggert.
Egbert.
Now, to the matter at hand. Oh!
What?
My overcoat! Return it at once to someone with the style to carry it off.
He is a JoJo.
Every move he makes, every breath he takes. I can't stand watching him.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
That's good.
It doesn't suit you.
Does
This guy
not
was
suit you.
mocap.
Fits him though.
Yeah, there are some animations in the games that is mo-capped.
Good.
Right, yes. So let there be an end to the matter. And thank you for your custom, Mr. Egbert Benedict, sir.
Why are you like this?
With such reasonable rates of interest, I may even decide to come back.
And can you stop being like this?
No.
This is
Be
why
like
I-
what?
This is why I ate grown-ups.
You ate grown-ups?
Oh,
Tasty.
I'm gonna stay away from
7.
you. Spin away.
That's right, you better. Just 'cause I'm a diver, everyone thinks that makes me a liar.
And the contents of the coat packets, as if you please, broker.
But of course, sir. Here's the disc for you.
Just this one.
Pardon, sir?
I was expecting another. That is, I deposited another.
Another disc?
Dear. I regret to inform you, sir, that what was deposited with you with. I regret to inform you, sir, that what was deposited with me was merely the overcoat. The disc happened to be in one of the pockets, but I was completely unaware of it until now.
Gina.
You gunnerling! You're hiding more of what's rightfully mine, are you?
Lazoo, eh? I don't know nothing about it.
Very well.
Dance away.
Then I shall bid you farewell. Say goodbye to style.
Wait a minute. That disc is mine.
What?
Oh! Ah!
Oh.
What do you think you're doing, you little tramp? You drawn blood, you filthy animal!
Oh my! Yes, there's blood on the disc.
It's because of all those sharp little bumps. The man must have scratched his
Bumps?
finger on them.
I found
Oh.
it first, alright? I mean, it belonged to me, old man. So you're not having it? Oi, you take it.
What, me? What do you want me to do?
If I hang on to it, they'll have me off again. So you keep hold of it.
Miss Lestrade, why is this disc so important to her? It's mine now, I guess.
There's evidence.
Of what?
You there in the black livery. Hand that disc to me at once, please.
No, don't. He's lying. Grown-ups are all liars.
Your choices matter.
What do I do now? How am I gonna resolve this?
Who will you date tonight?
Well,
Move.
Examine it.
just leave. Let's get out of here. Run away!
Get out!
To
Okay.
Baker Street.
Sure. I'll look at it. Okay. Examine. Yeah.
It is holes.
I can't
It's
find
marked.
anything out of place.
That's the blood.
Look at all the little bumps on the disc. No, the blood. They're so tiny.
Yes, the protrusions are called pins, and they plug into the teeth of the comb that make the notes.
Sure, call it a comb.
And just on the edge, there's a small amount of blood.
Yes, the blood of the mysterious Mr. Eggert Benedict.
When Miss Lestrade tried to grab the disc from him, the pin scratched on his fingers, it seems. Like when you're grating some daikon radish and accidentally catch your finger.
Ouch. Just thinking about it hurts and puts me off eating radish. Okay. Hello.
Oh.
Oh, what?
Oh?
You thought he was out of the picture.
Is it
A
possible
little
he's
bit.
alive?
Blimey?
Oh my god, what if he's alive? Oh.
Look, just read.
Oh, this little scrap of paper stuck onto the reverse side of the disc. Look. It's scribbled over, and a scribbled word or two. It looks like somebody's name.
Right, it's cursive. They wouldn't really know
For
that.
Mr. McGilded.
Damn it.
McGilded? It couldn't be.
But it is, Mr. Naruhodo. A name I shall never forget, for as long as I live.
But why? Why is his name on this? Music box discs information has been updated in the court record. Okay.
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 What?
You! Mr. Winterbeck is clearly at a loss here. We have to do something about this before he reaches for that revolver. Oh, Christ.
Oh, God.
You! I don't like him.
What have I done?
Well, dance. Wow, Miss Lestrade is looking really...
Then I shall dance once more.
Oh,
Stop it.
no, he's doing it. He's doing it. I can't see it, but he's doing it.
Mm,
Miss
ha,
Lestrade is
aha.
really looking daggers at that mysterious gentleman. We need to do something
And spin.
to calm things down before she loses control and attacks him again. Okay. Look at those piercing eyes. He's clearly in no mood to talk. We have to do something quickly before this mysterious gentleman leaves to fetch the police or something.
Put the music
Do you-
box in, or put it
Oh.
in
Do
the
you
music
need to...
box.
Wait.
Oh, okay, yeah. Look at Mr. Winterbank watching diligently over his shop. There are still so many things I'm curious about, but somehow I don't really think like this is the time.
Oh, come on.
No, come on.
Calming this fraught situation must be our first priority.
And I'm fairly certain we can find just the great thing we need among the articles here in this shop.
What's that? Not the music box? Oh, the music box is in a different place.
I thought this was it.
That is the music box right
Yeah.
there.
Isn't the one underneath
Yeah.
Oh, come on, this guy.
Mr. Sholmes! Mr. Sholmes! What are you examining with such keen interest there? As you enjoy a bar of caramel, I see.
Oh, you approached me?
Yeah.
So, you found me at last, Mr. Naruhodo.
What?
Sorry.
We live together.
After your pickpocketed me away, I was forced to lurk in the shadows. Cruelty, ostracized, as the rest of you partook in the jovial atmosphere of fellowship.
What? I had nothing to occupy my mind. I was too ashamed to let society see what my downfall had done to me.
Sholmes.
How are you talking about?
So feigning mock interest, I pretended to examine the tedious trinkets in this desolate place.
Aw, he didn't feel included.
Whilst, as you shrewdly observed, knowing I'm the only friend I have left, the 7% solution of caramel.
Why does it say Sholmes Caramel?
I made it. Bang! Do you claim to understand the depths of my despair, Mr. Naruto? How could you? I was so lonely, so desperately alone.
Then why on earth didn't you rejoin the conversation? Things have gone from bad to worse here, you know.
Yes, I overheard much of your conversation. Or rather, in my craving for human contact, my ears devoured every word that was uttered.
You really were sad, weren't you?
Poor Mr. Sholmes. I feel simply awful for you.
It would seem that my interferences are correct.
Inferences.
Inferences. Oh, surely you're not about to tell us. You've solved the entire case once again.
My dear madam, sometimes I wonder where my genius for deduction would be so
Commoditized.
commoditized.
Sir,
Sure.
Commoditized, sir.
You stay out of it. How
you thought
much?
you forgot, sir.
I never left.
I never learned. How much could I pawn for it?
It seems Mr. Sholmes has had another of his flashes of inspiration. What are you talking about? But who knows if it will help to resolve the situation between Miss Lestrade and the mysterious gentleman. What's the right thing to do here? Let's listen to the deduction.
I wonder if people get super depressed if you left it alone.
1 minute for this
No.
deduction.
Except, maybe we listen to that deduction next time.
Next
Listen to the
Yeah.
music.
I'm still listening to it. It's here. It's still here.
Yeah,
It's
there's
so
music
good.
here.
You gotta listen to it for like 5 more minutes.
No.
Does it loop?
Well, I
Yes.
enjoyed this one. Okay, so I'd like to call this game out on its bullshit. Why did they introduce two
Cool.
entire characters that did nothing in the last chapter?
Oh, don't worry about it.
I imagine.
That's right. I
Yep.
remember those characters.
Yeah.
They were entirely useless to that case.
I had a line.
Mm-hmm. You had maybe 4 lines even. Maybe even that.
Yeah.
But it can be counted on one hand.
And then there was Shakespeare. For what reason?
Yeah.
No reason. Just, you know,
None.
wanted to do that. Wanted to make you think that that trial was going to be longer than it actually was. And the squinty lady, she didn't do anything. I expected her to
Yes.
do something so much. It's fine.
She was just okay. She was just part of the jury. I don't think she was meant to do anything.
Mm-hmm. But
Win.
listen, there's a mysterious woman who hates Japanese people somewhere in the world, and we have to find her before this game ends. And I just expected her to be that person so much. So much. I really thought it was gonna be her. I don't know. But anyway, I'm not sure where this trial is heading at the moment.
Someone's
I mean-
dying. It's probably the guy, but maybe that guy can be blamed.
Wait,
Uh,
huh? Wendabag?
We
Wendabag?
thought that, yeah, Death Flag McGoober.
Wendabag is either going to be the person who
victim.
dies or the person we defend.
I guess
Yes.
so.
Yeah. I mean, that guy is going to pull a gun in the middle of a courtroom and nobody's going to be bothered.
God,
Yeah.
you're probably right. Or they won't make it to the courtroom. I guess we'll find out. What are we doing tomorrow?
And tomorrow we're doing some Pokemon.
Yeah.
Look at the monsters! It's so long.
Look forward to it.
So I hope you realize that we're gonna start calling him Wendabag now.
Yeah.
just
Oh,
because-
yeah.
No.
Yeah,
he
no.
must
Let's
have
call him Wendy Bag.
some
Yeah.
kind of
Wendy
descendant.
Bag.
We could just start calling him Old Bag. That'd be fine.
Ooh.
I want.
Old man?
Old
I
Bag.
want something from
Old
this
Bag.
game. I want this man to have a little tiny daughter, small daughter.
About to go to
And that-
Japan.
And
That small
it's
daughter.
implied that it's the same person.
Yeah, and that she's just still alive in the
Little-
next game.
Little Gwendolyn.
Well, wait a minute. How old? What year is this again? Is this 90s?
1900s.
1900.
That's plausible.
I think it would be hilarious.
Yeah. Well, especially since this game came out in like what, 2007? Or not this one specifically, but the original.
The other
2007.
games.
Yeah,
The
so-
original was, I think it was a bit earlier than that.
Yeah.
Should be
the,
125. Yeah, and it's the
And?
future Clueless.
Yeah.
Have you seen her? I'd believe it.
Yeah. But either way, folks, thank you all very much for coming. We will see you tomorrow for Pokemon. Hope you all have a great night. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.